welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another season here of the RSL, the Rival StarCraft League Season 5 2026 Korean Server Qualifier. I'm Coach SI VIP. With you, I'm joined by these amazing players and the people in the chat as well. Look out. Welcome as we are jumping into our fresh series into the initial quarterfinals, or sorry, the initial round of 16. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. The bracket is live, the bracket is stacked, and I will very quickly fix up the in-game logo. Do not worry. There we go, beautiful. But spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the red Zerg player, the red Zerg player himself, representing Stanley Bulls. It is Young Yakov. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the pink Terran player, the pink Terran player himself. It is Silver BV. Let's go. Let us go. And again, we are back. We are live. If you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our initial best of 3. Again, the bracket is live, the bracket is stacked, and the top 2 players of this bracket will advance on into the main event. We do have a plethora of players available, and only 2 will make it into this season of RSL. Bearing in mind, of course, is the second qualifier. We did have the Americas qualifier a couple of days ago, which we did cover. Nightmare did make it through alongside Shameless. We did have our top 2 players making it through into the main event. We'll see who will join Nightmare and Shameless in the RSL. Likewise, in a couple of days' time, we'll have the European qualifier as well. 3 qualifiers, NA, Korea, and Europe. And bearing in mind, there's also going to be the fan votes available as well. When I say fan vote, I should say Patreon votes. True. As Patreon members will be able to vote on their favorite players to be able to make it into the event as well via that voting. For now, though, we're jumping into our first matchup here of the series. So far, we do have a plethora of links on the way. Interesting, we have 8 links here in production, so a big reaction here by Young Yakov, opening up with the earlier aggression, earlier link timing, and we'll see what he can get done. We'll see what we can get done. Reaper does move out, and the lings are soon to reveal themselves. Okay, first 2 lings are revealed, the others, they do skirt around the edge of the map. Reaper does show up, and Young Yakov, he will intentionally hide his 6 lings. Okay, we have 6 lings moving out across the map, and Silver BV has no idea. He doesn't know, Pappy, he doesn't know. Does take care of 2 lings so far. Does poke in, does spot some saturation, checking for the 3rd location. Meanwhile, back across the map, there is 1 Marine to defend. 1 lone Marine. And can Young Yakov delay the CC in time? It's going to be close. Yeah, it's going to be close. Lings that have arrived. The CC is almost done. Almost, but not quite there, as it looks like, it's still close. Oh no, it finishes. Oh no, it's so close. One more, and it looks like it will complete. Massive finish there for Silver BB. It does finish, the CC does lift, and with that, these lings don't get much done. They don't get much done here. I mean, they do kill 2 SCVs, but they do not delay the expansion. We can always land, of course, and start up the orbiter. Casito, baby, casito. Here we go. Meanwhile, a big shout out to sorry, just catching up in the chat. A big shout out to Shirash in the chat. Gab, I mean, thank you so much for subscribing for 10 months, 7 months in a row. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it as we're delving into our initial series. Behind this, going for a 3rd CC before Starport. It is going to be a standard economic follow-up here out of Silver BV. He was delayed when it comes to his worker mining, when it comes to his orbital as well, so there was some delay. But here we go. We are jumping back in. Thankfully, this could have been so much worse. He can now recover. Oh, hello. Can now recover. Oh, I got you. As from here, we are going to be going lair first, a lair before link speed as well, so very fast lair timing here by Young Yakov. He's still mining more gas, by the way. Heavy gas count early on. Baliness is on the way. Higher chances is going to be a mutaplay there. It is going to be a higher chance. Let's go. Also, shout out to Sojo. I believe Sojo did also resubscribe at the beginning of the broadcast as well. Do appreciate it. Do appreciate it. Stream Helly does poke in. There it is. As we mentioned, a higher chance is going to be mutas, and there it is. A Spire is going to be on the way. Now, thankfully, Silver BV may not have seen the Spire, but did scout the lair. So is fully aware that the lair is now done, and there's a higher chance it is going to be something cheeky like muta play. The other options are going to be, say, like Link Queen Nidasolin, for example, or 2-base Hydra, for example, as well. But Silver BV didn't see the gases. Yeah, gases have not been scouted. Limited information for the for the Terran player. Silver BV does confirm the later expansion, at least. Does confirm the later third, but again, not much information to work with. Still doesn't know. Doesn't know what's going on. Pulls back, building up into a 2-base Spire setup. Will eventually claim his third, but alas, has no idea what's going on. The Spire is almost done. Oh, Banshee dips in. Okay, the Banshee does dip in. The Banshee, so close. Jesse, barely not. Doesn't scout the Spire, sees the lair, but he saw the lair earlier. Again, Silver BV should be whether something is wrong. Should be. And safety turret. Okay. Safety turret here at the natural. Thankfully, has pieced it all together here. No turret in the main, so it looks like just a safety precaution here by Silver BV. He's not 100% certain as to what's going on, so it's like, you know, it's a bit of a reaction, and it will help. But no turret in the main. Yeah, no turret in the main base. Muta's moving out. They're making their way towards the base. Okay, there we go. They catch the Banshee. Banshee gets caught. Now he knows for certain. Turret's now on the way, but the turret is late. Yeah, turret is delayed here. Marines, they move in position. Stim will finish up in time. Stim does finish up. Yeah, poking in. Does poke in, does pull away. No major damage here, only 2 SCV kills. To the main. Zipping in, getting an SCV. Just the one. They'll force to play in Korea. Korean server is prioritized. As with all server qualifiers, that's always been the case. But whenever there's a server qualifier, whether it's the America server qualifier, European server qualifier, Korean server qualifier, always does prioritize those servers. It's important to say prioritize because, for example, if you have 2 Europeans playing, there's no need for them to play on Korea, right? So they will play on Europe. But if they play against a Korean, then the Korean will be able to play on the Korean server. They have priority. Spains, they roll in. Yeah, they roll in. They catch up the army. So far, nice splits here by Silver BV, but it's still not going to be enough. Yeah, it does split well. Tank barely goes down. At this point, Silver BV, he's committed. He is committed behind this. No saturation, barely anything here at the third base, and he doesn't have enough. Yeah, not enough to push out, not enough to break through. Young Yakov does hold, does defend. And with that, the aggression has failed. Now we just drone. Saturate, build up. 4th base is on the way. We got +2 flyer attack as well in the production for Young Yakov. Just gaining further map control, getting a further lead in the game. Oof. Catching another tank. Oh god. Does catch another tank. Yakov dipping between bases. Catching a tank, catching at SCVs, disrupting the production. And again, it was just a very shaky start here for Silver BV. When it came to the unscattered mutas, when it came to even the early game, when it came to even taking that natural base, Yakov was just in his face from the beginning. Just in the face. Yakov was just containing his opponents. Behind this, building up more Link Vein. Eventually, Silver BV will be forced to just push and commit on 3 bases. And Yakov should be ready for it. Now forcing out some stims. Disrupting the production. Oh. Yeah, catching other Marines. He can just fight head on. Oh my god. Cleans up all the bio. Yeah, just not enough Marines to fight head on. Or I should say there are just too many mutas to fight head on. Mutas, they just kill the bio. From here, Jakub can take up in towards ultras. That'd be the ideal. Oof. Tank goes down. And again, it's imperative here that Jakub does engage ahead of time, right? He's engaging as the army attempts to move out, before Silver BB does siege up across the map. Another backstab, getting on top of the production. This is it. This is the final push here for Silver BB. Either he kills or he dies trying. Up. Getting to overextend. Better start for the Terran. Getting on top of the queens. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 queens going down. Nicely done, but there are so many Bailings on the way. Yeah, Bailey's just not finishing. At the same time, Mutas are still in the main. Still came with the production. Jakub has to be very careful here with how he engages. Ideally, he wants to lure the army further onto creep. Muta counts is being thinned out a little bit here. Terran player keeps pushing. Oh, he gets caught on siege. Oh no! He gets caught on siege. Yeah, he clumps up. No splits, no spread. Ay, ay, ay. And the Terran player gets caught. He gets caught out. Again, that was the moment that Jakub was waiting for the army to clump up. That was Jakub's moment. Once again, we're running out of Mutas across the map. The Mutas, more bases going down. Jakub able to engage. A bit of a shaky trade here. Jakub bleeding out all his Mutas. Oh my god, the target firing. How many do we have left? Only 9. Barely at a Muta. Again, Jakub, he's left these idle. They're just dying. Yeah, Jakub, he left the Muta side. This is what, 21 Mutas. They all just go down. Muta counts reset. And suddenly, what should have been a bit of a cleaner defense here from Jakub, Silver BV, he's in this. 100%. He can win this game. He knocks down 2 bases. Jakub, he's on a 3-base economy. Against a 3-basing Terran, Silver BV has a better economy. Straight up. Just has a better economy. Better setup. Hard pickup here against the Bailings. He's moving in. And Jakub is in a lot of trouble here. He no longer can engage. Not like this. Okay, there's only one tank. Only one tank. Bane not quite able to engage. Not yet. I mean, the tank is low. Ooh, losing another 2 Mutas. Another 2 Mutas going down. He collapses in. He commits. Oof. Lands 1 Bailey connection. Does M1. Ooh, just the 1 though. Tank goes down. Silver Marine's left over. But now there's no backbone, right? Now there's no tank to fall back to. There's no Widowmine. Oh no, the army! Ooh, 1 Bailey connects. He connects with the Bailing. Chasing down the army, but not enough Zerglings. Yeah, not enough Zerglings. Here we go. He goes to the mass unload, and Silver BV, he's doing. Keep going. No, keep going. There's only 3 Bailings. Only 3. No, he backs off. That could have been game. That could have been game then there. If he had just kept pushing, if he had chased, 3 Bailings would not have been up, and now more Bailings are morphing in. Jakub trying to hold on. Now has a chance. Yeah, Silver BV, he wasn't feeling too confident. He backed off. He rotated. That was his moment. He might still have this anyway, to be fair. Like, look at the pre-split. Look at him go. Let's go. The pre-split back. Yeah, Mutas try to catch reinforcements. They do force the entire Marine army back home. And Silver BV does turn back around. Mutas able to engage. Main base floats over as a 4 CC. This is a big moment here for the Terran. Ay, ay, ay. Again, Jakub, he is struggling. Any lead that Jakub once had is not there anymore. No shot. It's not there. Again, Jakub feels far too wasteful with his Mutas. He's lost how many so far? 43 Mutas. Crazy losses. Now trying to engage, does get himself with the tank. Yeah, tank was late to siege. Tank was late. Not enough Marines. I said that we come in from behind. Oh my god. He's crazy. Coming in from behind on creep, so he gets surrounded. Yeah, very messy engage here from Silver BV. But he still has enough. He can sim and he can win. GG gets called and Silver BV takes game number 1. Whew. GG. Does take a lead. Does take a lead here in the series and is 1 game away from knocking Jakub out of the tournament. Whew, yeah, again, a very intense game one here. For the most part, young Yakov, he had the lead, right? He was in control of this game for the majority of this game. He was able to contain his opponents, able to mass expand, build up his economy, build up his Ling Bane, and catch reinforcements. But the one moment here where everything just went awry for young Yakov was when he decided to camp the production. He didn't need to, but he decided to backstab with 21 meters to try to camp the production. And the reality is the production fights back. And young Yakov, he left it alone, right? He left the army idle, I should say. He left his mutas idle, just came to the production. And with that did mean that over time he was just bleeding out mutas to a handful of marines, and Yakov just didn't give it any attention, of course. He was fixating on his main base defense with his Ling Bane, and he just assumed that the mutas would just be camping and gaining value, but that didn't happen. The mutas eventually all got cleaned up, and then suddenly young Yakov was in trouble. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting to our next game. Here we go. And we'll see. As a reminder, this is going to be a best of 3. It's going to be a best of 3 here. Oh, este railgun in the chat. Bienvenidos. How many more series do we get? I mean, we do have a little bit of downtime here. A little bit. There's not really much to go over. Hold on. I'll show off the... There we go. I'll show off the bracket itself. So we're currently in the round of 16. As you can see here, ooh, this series is the longest running. Of course, the other matches have already concluded. This is going to lead us into the quarterfinals, then into the qualifying matches. We'll get there. I will be going a little bit more in depth into the bracket itself after this series. That's not our main focus. We're focusing on our series battle. As you can see, who is Silver BV? Silver BV is a ladder hero. Like, he is not a pro, he's not a semi-pro, he's just a Korean ladder hero. 5.6k on the Korean ladder. 5.6k. And yo, the ladder hero, he's pulling it off, baby. Let's go. Spawning in the right hand corner of Celestial Enclave, we have the red Zerg player. The red Zerg player himself representing Stanley Balls down in the series. Can he bounce back? Can he fight back against the ladder hero? It is young Yakov. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the pink Terran player, the pink Terran player himself, the South Korean Terran, the ladder hero. It is Silver BV. Let's go, Papa, let's go. And again, you can tell from the previous game as well, right? Like, young Yakov, he was winning that game. Like, he was looking dominant. Like, there was a very clear, like, disparity when it comes to the early to mid game between the players. Yakov was ahead. He did have a lead. I would say that what killed young Yakov last game, I mean, sure, it was Silver BV hanging in there, and he had some really nice micro moments, but young Yakov also did seem overconfident. He was very overconfident when it came, and as a result, he was, I would say, a little bit inattentive to his army as well, referring specifically to him throwing away his 21 meters, right? Like that mutaflok, ideally you build it up over time, right? You build it up over the course of the game into critical mass. You're careful with you're attentive to it, so you got to look after your mutas, pappy. You know, you got to take care of them. You can't just leave them on their own, pappy. And in my mind, at least, it was just overconfidence from young Yakov. And now we're opening up with a proxy 3 racks. What a way to cheese young Yakov out. It is going to be a Hatchgas Spool standard opener out of our Zerg player, but if he doesn't react well enough here, this could just end the game. Here we go, 2 SCVs are revealed. Reveals 2 SCVs. Now Silver BV wants young Yakov to pull the boys. He wants him to pull the boys, wants him to react, wants him to chase. And here we go. The boys are being pulled. So the boys are being pulled. This all comes down to the starters being micro here of Silver BV. He's got to back off. He has to back off and try to kite his heart out against these drones. He should be fighting though. Yeah, he should be firing. Yeah, he's lacking here a little bit when it comes to the starter stepping. Legs have arrived. So far he gets 1 drone. Yeah, only 1. He does miss some shots. Yeah, Silver BV misses some shots, so there's a cancellation, and Yakov holds. Yeah, Yakov is holding. Again, only 1 drone kill. We could have seen like 3-4 drone kills, but Silver BV was overly scared. And now we have 2 queens. Yeah, now we have 2 queens. Now we have a Spine Crawler. Yakov, he shuts us down. The one chance that we could see here is that we just pull the boys. We just pull the boys and we go for like 1 big all-in with all these Marines. Yeah, let's go. He's listening to the stream, baby. Oh no, the other one's gonna confirm. Yeah, Yang Yakov does confirm. But as we mentioned, this is the only way. This is the only way to try to win this game. You have to pull the boys in this position. So all the boys are being sent. But the Overlord confirms. Like, really smart scout here for Yang Yakov. He now knows. And now he knows not to drone, right? He's aware not to drone, not to saturate. Building up as many links as possible. The boys are here. Yeah, gonna be diving in. Likewise, drones are being pulled as well. Clutch Race used. Yeah, Clutch Race used and Spine Crawler. Marines, they do Kai well. Yeah, they start up nicely here. The Lings are going down. Drones as well. Can he get on top of the Queens? Can he do it? It's close. He takes out the Spine Crawler. Yeah, Spine Crawler goes down. He gets on top of the Queens. And can he bring them both down? It's close. Gasito, papi, Gasito. No transfuse. He gets one. Oh my god, he gets one. He gets the other as well. Yeah, he's stuck. He's stuck over creep. Second Queen goes down, and with that, Silver BV, let's go. He's doing it for the ladder, papi. Let's go. Like, man, I didn't even know what RSL is. I just saw a tournament on Challenge. I joined for the lols, papi. Crazy. I say that he's bleeding on Marines. Yeah, bleeding on Marines here is still a little bit close. We're down to 3 Marines. Oh, sorry, 3 Lings I meant to say. But there we go. He has done it. There's 4 Lings left. GG gets called, and Silver BV, he pulls off a crazy upset. He will take down Yang Yakov 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations here again, Yang Yakov. He should have won the first game. The first game was heavily in Yang Yakov's favor, but Yakov, he was overly confident. He was not respecting his opponent enough, and we saw that Yang Yakov did fumble the ball in game number 1. Here in game 2, cheese them the hell out. That was a rough start. Winding it back, it was a really rough start. Yang Yakov, he defended well. He defended really well, pulled the boys, bought time for the Spine Crawler, bought time for the Queens, then he shut down the all-in, and he even scouted the boys being pulled as well. Yakov, he was aware, he knew. Despite that, he didn't have a backup Spine Crawler on the way. He did decide to commit with purely Lings. You could definitely argue that in that kind of position, you could even afford to even abandon the low ground and just pull everything, because he had time to react and time to respond. We could have seen him just abandon the low ground, just set up on the high ground, pull away into your main base, sit up there with your Spine Crawler, have that high ground advantage on top of the ramp as well. But no, he went for the low ground defense, and yeah, with that, he was overwhelmed then and there. GG, well played. Congratulations, Silver BV does cause the upset. Yang Yakov is out of the qualifier. Yakov is out, Silver BV is in. Here we go. Please let us watch Silver BV versus Percival now. If you're maybe a little bit unfamiliar with our broadcast and with our schedule, exclamation mark B in the chat to have a look at the back yourselves. But we always, whenever we cover like a series and cover a player, we typically, we never jump around. So we're going to be following Silver BV into Percival. That's typically how we do things. And then we'll be following that into the qualifying match. The only exception to that is if the lower qualifying match is ready first. We'll be covering both qualifying matches, bear that in mind. So whichever is available first, we'll be casting. Just as a heads up. Otherwise, we are getting ready here for our next series. It is going to be a TVT between Percival and Silver BV. Oh, Revitas are done. Revitas are done. Un momento. Oh no. So we made the lobby, and Ryang, he's casting, of course, and yeah, Percival, he got a little bit excited. A little bit too excited. We good. We almost casted Percival versus Ryang. Ryang, he's a great player. Honestly, Ryang has a good chance to qualify for this event as well, but he is the official caster, the official Korean caster, I should emphasize. If you recall, there was an agreement made between Soup and RSL that Soup, I think Soup would have like official, if not they'd have like the rights to covering RSL in Korean, and Ryang is covering it over on Soup. But here we go. We have our series, we have our matchup. Vetoes are done, and we're jumping into game number 1. Let's go. Meanwhile, when it comes to the bracket itself, as you saw, we have plenty of ZVZs. We have Solo versus Rex in a ZVZ. We have Shin versus Sort of in a ZVZ as well, to make it into a qualifying match. Meanwhile, we have Classic versus Perceive also ongoing. But let's go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran. It is Percival. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the pink Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran player himself. The ladder here, does anyone know what this is from? I don't know. It is Silver BV. I'm afraid this is like a VTuber or something. Like, I not like this. For now though, we are going to be settling in. We're getting into game number 1 here on Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock does favor aggression, and Percival is coming in as the heavy favorite. Ooh. Is coming as the favorite player here, and we'll see how Percival does compare, or how Silver BV compares to Percival. Double gas opener out of our blue Terran player, going for a faster factory, going for a delayed CC, so a much more tech heavy start, a much more aggressive start out of Percival. Meanwhile, Silver BV, ooh, going for 2x Reaper. Okay. That's unfortunate. A couple of things here. So one, double gas opener means faster factory, faster Hellions. It is a safer way to play, and also a very aggressive way as well. It's very versatile, I should say that. 2x Reaper is typically designed to hard counter a proxy 2x. So with that, we would have the defensive advantage plus the additional Reapers as well. So we do gamble a little bit. I do favor Percival when it comes to our builds of choice. Now, we'll see if Silver BV goes for a factory before command center. He is going for a second gas geyser. If he goes to the factory before CC, there is going to be a window in time where he will have the army advantage, and he could try to overwhelm Percival with additional Reapers plus the Hellions. So we'll see how he builds up, whether we go command center or factory. As Percival, he was able to get a full scout. He's fully aware it is going to be 2x Reaper. So Percival should just be staying at home, just chilling back at home, building up his own Reapers, his own Hellions, and then expanding. If the answer, okay, it's going to be factory. Okay, so 2x Reaper into the factory. So again, as we mentioned before, there is going to be a slim window of time here where Silver BV will have a higher Reaper count, and he'll have the Hellions as well, and he could try to overwhelm. If you recall, we casted a game just like this earlier today during the Pegastar Cup. During the Pegastar Cup, we casted Cure versus Bjorn, where Bjorn did go for this very build, and he was able to overwhelm Cure just barely. It was close though, it was very, very close, but Bjorn did overwhelm Cure at the natural. If you missed it, do you recommend it? Did cover those matches earlier this morning. Meanwhile, Percival, he's actually going for the early Cyclone, not even going for the Hellion. This is safer. Yeah, this is much, much safer here for Percival. Cyclones, they're robust. They have a lot of micro potential. And they will shut down these Reapers. Catching out one. Chasing the rest. Nice KDA charges. Being as annoying as possible. Behind this Percival, he is going to be expanding, claiming his own natural. And Silver BV is far behind when it comes to his own CC timing. Still making more Reapers, by the way. He's still making Reaper Hellion. Again, Silver BV is very committed. This is risky from Percival to be active like this. It's only one Reaper, one Cyclone. He has to be so careful not to get caught out. Percival, he confirms the factory is done, pulls away, and he's building up into his second Cyclone. So again, Percival, he should be fine. Yes, we do have a massive amount of Reaper Hellion, but with additional Cyclones, he should be able to hold his own. If Percival, if he had gone into a Hellions, then there would be a chance for a Silver BV, but with Cyclones, there's less of a chance. Percival to hit the natural. That does trigger our pink Terran. We're going in. He commits. 6 Reapers. Breaks through the Marine. Cyclone's a little bit too far behind, but they get the lock on. Yeah, they get the lock on the Hellion. They shut down the Reapers, and the Cyclones, they hold. They hold, they defend. Reaper into the main base. Damage is being done. 3 SV kills already. Ay, ay, ay. This is getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand, Pat. So PV does dive in. Diving into the main base. Last person was out of position with the Cyclone. True. He's out of position. Reapers, they bust into the mineral line. Damage can be done. Gets one, gets two. 3 ACV kills. Is getting some damage at least. At the same time, we get the counter drop across the map. Actually, sorry, that was the tank of the Cyclone. He can siege. Wow. He can siege up behind the mineral line. What do we go for? We go for the Cyclone. Welcome to the medevac. Ooh, tank is started down. And Silver BB does hold. Does hold, does defend. Ordered harass here at the natural. And on the one hand, yes, Silver BV does maintain his army somewhat. He does defend, he does shut down the aggression, but he still is down in workers, 33 SCVs. He's down in workers, down in economy, not just that, but Percival, he even has a third CC on the way. Local on the tank. Ooh, Local is broken. Percival getting a little bit ambitious. Yeah, getting a little bit too excited here. Percival does overextend, overconfidence. Yo, we gotta respect our ladder heroes, man. We gotta calm down, Percival. Calm down. Prediction? Oh, my apologies. Sorry, I think I may have forgotten the gamma. Yeah, I was so engrossed in the game, Pat. So engrossed. It's 6 minutes late, but if you're in the chat, get your gamma going. Predictions are open. As a reminder, that's a prediction for the entire series. It's a prediction for the series. Obviously, Percival is favored. So is Young Yakov. Percival is ahead. So is Young Yakov as well. Like, I believe that Silver BB can make a series out of this. But Fabo. But now disrupting the economy, delaying the upgrades as well. And now we're committed. Yeah, it's go time. So when it comes to the army here, we have Stim. So Stim for Silver BV. We do have Interference Matrix as well. That will factor in. Now Percival should be moving out to expand. And he's cranking out more Vikings. So Percival, he will fight for map control, for air control, I should say. There's a scan. Army moves in. Do we disable? Gets one. Gets two. Double disable. Yes, Silver BV does commit. He moves in. The points are being pulled. And massive damage here. SCVs are going to be going down. But can he bring down the tanks, though? Yeah, that's going to be critical damage. 18 SCV kills. 21. He cripbles the economy, but he will lose the army. Yeah, Silver BV, he will lose his army. Is going to be cleaned up. That was impressive damage, that's true, but now here comes a counterattack. And what is there at him to defend? Oh boy. We got one Marine. We got okay, we got 2 Marines in a tank. Let's go, Papa, let's go. We're cranking out as many Marines as we can. Again, this barely a standing army. Here comes Percival. Like, it was impressive that damage was dealt, but he did not deal with the main army of Percival. That's the issue here. He only killed SCVs, and that was not good enough. That's not good enough. Percival has arrived. Percival, he has an army. Auto shots are thrown down. Boys are being pulled. Desperation here by Silver B. Desperation. Vikings land. GG gets called. And Percival, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG well played. Percival will take a lead in the series. Again, Silver BV had, I mean, he was all in basically. He was all in when it came to his push. And as we mentioned, he failed to target down the tanks. He instead was able to deal critical economic damage. That's nice and all, but that did not matter. He wasn't able to trade with the army, which meant that he had nothing at home to defend. Couldn't hold on, couldn't survive. And that was the only move that really we saw out of Silver BV because he was so far behind in the economy. He had taken a lot of economic losses throughout the course of that game. He was forced into that push. GG. GG well played. With that, we're now getting into game number 2. Going to be loading into Tourmaline. Tourmaline is going to be a much smaller map of the map pool. Aggression is favored. Let's go. Let us go. It's catching up the chat. Percival versus Perceive. We have casted that before. That has happened. How old? We don't know his age. We wouldn't know his age. As a reminder, like, he's an amateur player. Like, he's I wouldn't even be surprised if this is his first time playing in the tournaments. You know what? I can just double check right now, actually. As spawning in the bottom hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the blue Terran player, the blue Terran player himself. We have the South Korean Terran. It is Percival. And spawning in the top right hand corner. Yep. And top right hand corner we have the pink Terran player, the pink Terran player himself. It is Silver BV. I was just double checking. Yep, I can confirm that this is his first tournament. As I mentioned, like he's not like a pro or semi-pro. He's a ladder hero back. He's got a lot of games on the ladder. And you're correct in saying that he's not looking too bad. Like, you know, very competent. He is GM on Korea. Not bad at all. There is obviously room for growth, room for improvement, but you know what? Hopefully we see more of him. Hopefully. Fingers crossed, Pappy. Fingers crossed. Yeah. For now, we have our 2-Racks opener, one back at home, one across the map. So 2-Racks Reaper here by Silver BV. This is a little bit middle of the road here, and this has potential if Percival goes for an economic start, but do you see what I see? Double gas. Double gas opener once again out of Percival. Very safe play out of our Terran player. This means that the window of opportunity for Silver BV to get some damage done is very low. Very, very low. I don't know if you noticed something, but I will say that both Game 1 and Game 2, if you notice the openers of our player, of Silver BV, they feel like ladder builds. Like, obviously, we see them in pro play as well, but we're on Tourmaline. Like, the chances of Percival going for an economic build on Tourmaline is very low. It's very, very low. So this is surprising me a little bit here. He gets scouted. He gets scouted. SB does confirm the racks. Second Reaper's on the way. Oh. First, he has time to react. Getting into the high ground. We see that Silver BV does have the Reaper lead currently, at least. The boys can be pulled. Yeah, boys are being pulled. One Reaper gets surrounded though. Nice pick off. He gets one. One Reaper goes down, and Percival he has to minimize losses and buy time for his Hellion. Yeah, he has to buy time. Losing 3 SCVs. Nice start here for Silver BV. Not bad. But there's a caveat to that. Remember, there's no command center. There's no CC here, so Silver BV needs more damage. This is not good enough. This is not good enough. Hellion volley going up. Oh, okay, kills one more SCV. Ooh, the Reapers are lining up. No! Yeah, Reapers line up. Has to pull away, getting another 3 worker kills, 6 in total. Okay, we're getting there. More Reapers are amassing. Again, Silver BV he's committed. But now we're up to 2 Hellions. As the Hellion count gets higher and higher, it's getting worse and worse for Silver BV. So up to 2 Hellions. Oh. Okay, it's all about the micro, all about the control. Now it's to 3 Hellions. Oh my god. Yeah, massive Hellion shots. Takes out one of the Reapers. And Silver BV, he's run out of steam. He's run out of steam. He has to get the hell out of here. Once again, it was impressive. He killed 6 SCVs. That's nice. That's great. But he doesn't have an expansion. Meanwhile, Percival does. His CC's already done. And now Hellions is chasing him down. Oh, nice KDA charges. Very nice charges here. Oh my god. He cleans with the Hellions. That should not have happened. Hellions go down. Yeah, miscontrol by Percival. Did overcommit. But the wall is solid. Yeah, the wall is up. Cyclone is on the way. You can see boys being pre-pulled. Showing by the Reaper. Hellion comes in. This might be too much. This is it. This is the moment. Keep going. Keep going, Pappy. Because of the 5, 6 SCVs. It's gonna get a hand. This is critical damage now. Earlier 6 workers was not good enough, but now we're getting up to 9 more SCV kills. Again, Percival, he got caught out in the open. What, we mentioned this about young Yakub, if you recall. Like, overconfidence. Like, there was no need to be out there with the Hellions. There was no need to be aggressive here for Percival. Just had to calm down. And now Silver BV has the natural up and running. He has the higher SCV count. He's ahead economically. Looking good. Oh god, oh, he breaks the lock on. He's crazy. Yeah, he busts into the main base. He wants to kill that Cyclone. Yeah, a little bit further. Barely doesn't break through. Once again, another KDA charge. Oh, barely does not get on top of the Cyclone. Oh my god, surviving on 4 HP. Percival's holding. He barely, oh no, he wants it. He wants the Cyclone. That's okay, Cyclone survives. Percival holds. But Silver BV has a lead. He has the advantage. He has the worker lead. A third CC is already on the way as well. Has a greater economy. And the pressure's on Percival. And again, winding it back. Percival, he held nicely when he got up to 3 Hellions, but then he counterattacked. He pushed out on the map. He got caught out in the open. He got caught with his pants down. And now we have a very messy early game. Very, very messy. Back at it, we have 2 tanks. Silver BV is fine. Perfectly fine. Raven gets turned away. Oh. Attempts to dive, attempts to break out. Nice all comes in from Percival, nice control. The Raven, ooh, he gets one. Yeah, Percival, he does that micro here. Does that control. Catching out one of the Ravens, pulling away. Nice. Percival, he redeems himself. He's redeeming himself. He's like, okay, Papi, I gotta lock in. Yeah. We noticed. He's locking in. Snap the Raven, pulling out. Third CC is now on the way for Percival. Bearing in mind, Percival is behind. He does have some catching up to do, and we'll see if he can. See if he can. As the Raven does move out. Likewise, Silver BV also pushing. So just in case I'm less familiar with the player, after this game, I'm gonna question Ryung. I'm going to convene with the tuna, Papi. So BV does break out. Yeah, trying to lure the army into tank range. Trying to. Yeah, as we have to respect those Ravens. Ravens, they come in for the mass disable. Ooh, and Silver BV gets caught out. He gets caught. We'll lose one of his tanks. Order towers do hold the line. Yeah, clutch order towers, but he will still lose another tank though. Yeah, second tank goes down. Rough losses here for Silver BV. Percival does out control. Oh, wow, we stim in. He gets a tank. Gets one. No stim. No, it does have stim. Pulls away. Yeah, pulls away, backs off. Behind this, now we see Percival. He's evening with the economy. So even worker counts. Percival, he has recovered at this point. At this point, our blue Terran player has recovered, and we're slowing things down. Slowing things down. Buenos días, lechito. Lechito. Played Need to see in GSO qualifiers. Yes. I did see that he got knocked out in the last season of GSL in the first round of the qualifiers. Went down to SOS. Did see. But otherwise from here, again, Percival, he is now claiming his 4th base. He's slowing things down. After Percival almost died, by the way, after having a massive deficit, he is now back in this. He's now back in this game. Active with his double drop. Building up his Vikings. The game is slowing down, and this is where Percival can start to shine. As he now has a standing army. Again, Percival's strengths, his strengths, they usually lie when it comes to his multitasking, his micro, his control. That's where Percival does thrive. Now just vying for map control. Being active. Claiming the center expansion. Oh. Yeah, nice catch. Catching in the tank. Ested Percival. The armor shot going off once again. Oh my god, they do cover each other. Deflected. Percival, he cannot push forward due to the tank line. Likewise, neither can Silver BV. Tanks, they hold the line. As Liberators have arrived. Because something that Silver BV doesn't have here is the Viking count. We do have the air control, the Viking count in favor of Percival. Now Liberations has arrived. He can just leverage his high ground or his air control, and now he can move in. Yeah, Liberators, they just bully back the Grand Army. Going for the disable, let's go. Gets one. Ooh, tank falls. Tank does fall to the auto turrets. Percival pushing further in. Oof. Marines forced to stem. So Marines going down. Yeah, heavy losses there for the Pink Terran. Heavy losses. Should notice there are no Marines here. It's purely tank. Percival going for his own backstab. Rotates around. And while Silver BV is distracted, Liberators, they move in. They get 1, 2, 3 free tanks. Nice big ups. And you can see Percival just pulling Silver apart. Pulling him apart, back. Further in. Sending him back. Again, the army supplies are close, but the Stoop does lie here. The Stoop somewhat lies. Actually, we do have Silver BV now taking a Viking lead. So we can soon fight for air control. Pink Terran does barely hold on. Tanks within range of the Planetary, and the Planetary will go down. Massive pickoff. Losing a base. Again, Percival, his air army is going to be bullied back. Forced to retreat. Forced to back up. Silver BV, he did have a backup CC. Reclaims his base. Still a decent worker count. We're still neck and neck. Again, Vikings now heavily in favor of Silver BV. He can now go for his own Liberators. True. And Percival, to make up for that, he's throwing down his ring of turrets. Sensor tower, more turrets. Rolling up and rolling off. Marines, they peel off to the right-hand side. And we'll see if we can find a way in. Now from here, we can see that Percival, he's already going one step further ahead. Earlier, it was Viking into Liberator. Now it's going to be Viking into Mass Raven. Yeah, we have more Ravens on the way. We have more Starports as well. 2 more Starports in production for Percival, going into Mass Raven. That is the ideal late game TBT. Oh, nice catch though. Gets 3 tanks. And 1, 2 tanks go down. 3rd tank to escape. Nice cleanup at the same time. Double drop does get across the map. Catching in a Viking. Yeah, Viking, couple of Marines, couple of depots. As I'm a little bit afraid to look, how many Ravens do we currently have here? 6. Okay, 6 Ravens for Percival. Making 2, soon to be 4 Ravens at a time. Actually, sorry, 2 Ravens and Vikings going to be supporting. Fight Council in favor of Silver BV. True. And missile goes off. Vikings going ham, and the tanks, they do hold the line. They try to at least. Up. It does barely hold on. It does hold, does defend. Holding the line, Babby, just barely. But there's still so many tanks left over here for Percival. So many. He's got 13. Double the tank count. He's moving in. And he just overwhelmed. There's just so many tanks. They siege up within range. Massive shots going off. And the final tank goes down. Silver BV losing everything here in the center. Lost his Vikings. Lost his tanks. And Percival just gaining more ground. Just gaining more ground from here. Again, Percival, he should not back up. Setting up his turrets. Setting up his siege lines. Raven is neck and neck. But again, we have 14 tanks. Oh my god. And there's no planetary and no defenses back at home. Marines, they slip into the mineral line. SUV's going to be going down. And Percival is just pulling a Silver BV apart. And again, it is impressive. Like, Silver BV, he was ahead in this game. Remember, he almost killed Percival at the start of the game. Straight up. Percival, he was dying. He was dying, bad. But Percival, he recovered. He bounced back. He got his 3rd up and running. Got his 4th. Built up his army. Gained map control. Gained air control, more importantly, for a while. Silver BV, he was able to hold his own for a time, but has no economy here. Losing mineral lines, losing bases. Speaking of, Percival, he rotates. Tanks, they siege up. Yeah, massive tank shots going up. Vikings, they can't land, and they will. Yeah, they land here to protect the tanks. Boys are being pulled into Viking fire. Vikings, they pop up. And Percival just keeps on pushing. They can just chase down the Ravens, one after the other. They can't escape. Oh no. Yeah, they cannot get away. They're just rallying into their deaths. GG gets called, and Percival, he will claim the series 2-0, advancing on to a qualifying match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations, Percival. He will claim the series, but a shout out to Silver BV, papi. Ay, ay, ay. Hold on. I need to. Hold on, papi. But GG, well played. GG, well played. And with that, congratulations, Percival. He'll advance on into the next round, into a qualifying match. Meanwhile, we do have our... we do have our first qualifying match ready here. Un momento. Beautiful. Exclamation mark B in the chat. Exclamation mark B. As we have looked back at ourselves and catch up on the upcoming matches. Let's go. Let us go. Fun fact, I messaged Ryung. I was like, hey, should I know who Silver BV is? And he's like, nah, it's just a ladder hero. It's like, okay. So I was just making sure. Just making sure. Making sure that I wasn't missing something. Because I was very impressed. I was very impressed. It's like, he's just a ladder boy. Like, okay, cool. Just confirming with Ryung. But here we go. We're getting ready for our next matchup here. It's going to be a ZVZ between SHIN and Solar. So just quickly setting up. Beautiful. Bearing in mind that we're going to be covering the lower semis first and then the upper semis. Both are going to be qualifying matches. Both are going to be best of fives. We'll be covering one, then the other. The reason why we're going to be covering SHIN and Solar first is because they've been ready and waiting for quite some time. they got ready much faster. They were ready for us, and here we go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the Teal Zerg player, himself. It is Solar. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player himself, also from South Korea. It is SHIN. Let us go. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we delve into our ZVZ. And also a big shout out in the chat to Railbags. God, baby God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing for 10 months, baby. 10 months, almost a year of support. Thank you. Gracias. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it. Likewise, a big shout out to C Grail as well for 38 months, baby. Oh my God. Railbags, C Grail, thank you so much for all the support for so long as well. Thank you. Hope you still appreciate the content, the casting, the StarCraft. Hope you've been enjoying it all for all this time. Thank you so much. As of course the StarCraft continues, as always, baby, as always. Smurge. Buenos dias, baby. Buenos dias. Share my. Here we go. So far, hatch gas pool out of Solar, hatch gas pool out of SHIN, standard openers all around. Nothing crazy, nothing wild, just our initial standard openers. From here, we're settling into a more standard game state, but we'll keep an eye on the follow-up. We're expecting aggression. We're expecting early gases, early roach horns, early evo chambers, skipping out on banelings, going for delayed third bases. Our eyes are open for any kind of major deviation. Solar and SHIN, usually they're animals. They are animals, but we are loading into a larger map. This is Winter Madness. If we were to ever enter a standard kind of back and forth, Winter Madness would be the map to do it on. I say that if we did end up in a three-base, kind of a three-base situation, a three-base setup, then there's a higher chance we're going to Muta play. Mutas would be quite viable here on Winter Madness as well. Let's settle in. Let us settle in. But if you're in the chat, predictions are about to close. Make sure you predict while you can. You got a couple of seconds. A couple of seconds, papi. So here we go. We are going to be pulling one out of gas here for Solar. Likewise, pulling one out of gas for SHIN as well. Standard builds. Standard builds, standard setups. Yo, shout out to Dark, by the way. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. If you don't follow Dark on social media, then I recommend it. Has been updating us on a regular basis about his endeavors on the ladder, as Dark has expressed his interest in returning to StarCraft, of course, after military service. I think it was even like last month, right? Or even a couple of weeks ago. Did make a post about it. Dark. We all miss him, Pappy. We all miss him. As no one is skipping their Baneliness, so Baneliness is going to be on the way for SHIN and for Solar. So far, so good. Building up our nest. Getting into Ling Bane. No one's cutting in corners yet. Again, eyes are still open for Eva Chambers or Roach Horns. Eyes are still open. Thank you for all that you do. Gracias, but gracias. Meanwhile, we have our standard Roach Horn timing here from SHIN, likewise for Solar as well. Again, everything's looking normal so far. We're taking our third bases, building up in a Roach production, droning as we speak, no signs of aggression. So far, we have a pretty passive game. So passive ZVZ. We be passive. So just setting up our other qualifying match. For now, we have our lairs that are on the way. A Link Scout does zip into the main. And SHIN, ooh, does he scout the lair timing? He does. Okay, he does scout the lair timing. He's fully aware. Of course, getting his own lair. Gases are being taken. And do we go for a Spire? That's the big question here. Does anyone go for the mutas? Again, mutas, they are very much so even further viable here in ZVZ thanks to the recent buff. Thanks to the reduced build time on the Spire. We're so far taking all 6 gases. And there it is, Spire for Solar. Spire for Shin. So we're going into Muta. We're just going into Muta Wars. Let's go. So mass Muta out of Solar, mass Muta out of Shin. Again, there's a reason why we brought this up at the start of the game. On Winter Madness, it makes the most sense to delve into Muta play. And we'll see how efficient our players are being. So first things first, when it comes to any kind of big deviation, roach speed. Roach speed is being researched here by Solar. We'll see if he cancels or if he lets it finish. This is a pretty big deal just because gas being spent not on mutas means that your muta count is going to be that much lower, of course. So Solar, he's spending gas on roach speed, meanwhile Shin is not. No roach speed, so he has extra gas for extra mutas. And every muta counts. At the same time, Shin he slips into the main. Does slip in. Doesn't get a queen. Did he get a full scouts? Did get the scout behind the natural. Is aware of the Spire. So Shin is aware of the Spire. Solar, he's also aware as well. Dipping into the main. Oh, going for Corruptors as a reaction. Okay. Let's go. I mean, Solar, he already made a decent chunk of roaches as well. He's already got 8 roaches. 8 roaches now to 10. 10 roaches plus on range. And Solar looks like he plans on going for an earlier push, an earlier timing to try to end it. Bearing in mind the Corruptors, they are not ideal when it comes to harassing, but when it comes to Corruptor versus Muta, Corruptors, they come out on top. They're not as mobile, true, bear that in mind. Nice cancellation on the 4th base. Can he do it again? Up! Oh my god. Second, do we get a 3rd time? Yeah, Links, they back up. Cheeky moves out of Shin. Builds up to 10, so to be 13 Corruptors. That's a lot of Corruptors. And likewise, Solar, he's still not neglecting his roaches. You just have arrived. 14. Does what the Corruptors. Has to back off. Has to respect them. Can we bully back? Corruptors, they built a zone. Built a zone with the mutas. Actually, Solar, he does overextend for a moment here. He does expose himself. Oh. Mutas, they poke in. They fail to pick up the roaches. Solar, he does get past. Oh. And do we base trade? Yeah, we're going for the base trade. Lings, they move out across the map. Roaches, they Lackers move out as well. Base is going to be going down. And mutas, can they defend? They're trying to engage with the roaches, but Corruptors, they zone the mutas away. We commit. Ooh, does commit to the fight. It's 22 mutas. Are there enough mutas here? It's going to be close. Yeah, they cannot take the fight head on. Force to back up. Going for the roaches. Force to engage with Corruptors as well. And again, it looks like there might be enough mutas here, but as they're distracted, drones are falling. Yeah, roaches, they break into the mineral land at the same time. Roaches, they defend back at home. Solar dealing damage. Breaks the 3rd. Now it's headed for the 4th. And he should kill the expansion. Likewise, mutas overwhelm the Corruptors. Every Corruptor will go down. Snipes all the Corruptors, but it may not matter. The roaches, GG. Yeah, GG gets called. Ooh, as Solar, he believes he cannot get more damage done here. Too many mutas. Too many mutas. Shin takes game number 1. Wow, GG. Solar, he did kill the 3rd. He killed the 4th base as well. That was some good damage, of course. The downside, there were 20 mutas. There were still 20 mutas left over. And I think Solar, myself included, assumed the Corruptors would fare a little bit better there. They didn't. They weren't able to hold their own. They got shut down. They got cleaned up. The muta count was just too high, which meant that Shin was going to defend and counterattack. GG. GG, well played. Shinny does take game number 1. The mass muta did pay off. It was a big gambit there from Solar to try to end the game and try to bust on through with his roaches. Did do some good damage there, but not good enough. Not good enough. With that, we're now getting to game number 2. Going to be loading into Tourmaline. Loading into Tourmaline, and we'll see if Solar can bounce back. We'll see if Shin can extend his lead. As a reminder, best of 5. Best of 5. What's a bit of a shame here is that only one of these 2 players will make it through into the main events. Only one. There is the European qualifier. True. We do have the European qualifier thereafter. That is also going to be available. But let's go. Spawning in the top right hand corner here of Tourmaline, we have the Teal Zerg player, himself. Down to the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Zerg player, the South Korean Zerg, leading the series 1-0. It is SHIN. Here we go. So we're delving into game number 2. And this time loading into a much smaller map. Now, as a reminder, last game was very passive. Last game was very, very passive and very defensive. Both players, we just took our naturals, took our third bases, droned up, took our gases as well, and then went into lair and then went into spire play without any real aggression at all coming into the early to mid game. So our players were kind of left to their own devices and able to freely take up into mutas, but now here on Tourmaline, we do not expect that at all. Tourmaline favors aggression quite heavily. We have an open area outside of the natural, we have an open entrance into the natural itself, open entrance into the third base, open entrance into the fourth base, and just an open area just all around. It's a very open map and a short rush distance by ground, so we expect to see early aggression. Whether it's roaches, whether it's lings, we'll see. But rushing into muta play is very difficult to achieve here on Tourmaline. Not impossible, but difficult. So we'll see how our players adjust. We'll see who's going to be the aggressor first. So here we are draining, we are saturating. From here we should be expanding, claiming our third bases, and then going to our own Bailey nest. It's going to be after that where we can deviate. Sol, he did pull out, so did SHIN. So there's no excess gas. No excess. And now we can claim our third bases. Here we go. Third base now on the way. Safety Bailey nest here from SHIN. Solar getting his own third, and Solar getting his own nest as well. So mirrored builds. Mirrored builds so far. Nothing crazy. Everyone's droning. We're still waiting for either an Eva Chamber or a Roach Warren. Or just a Link Flood. Speaking of, there it is, 12 lings. Yeah, 12 lings are in production. You can see Solar has 7 drones in production instead, so Solar is droning, SHIN is not. SHIN, he's going for a massive ling move out, a massive ling aggression. So far only 12 lings. Then he drones. Okay. So he's not going for an all-in. SHIN is applying pressure, he is moving out, he is going to be aggressive, that is true, but he is droning behind this. So here comes SHIN. He's moving out across the map. Here we go, 2 Bailey's now morphing in. I'm going for the third. Doing the expansion. Trying to bait out a Bailing. Baits 1. Baits 2. Baits out 2. Now going for the third and final Bailing. Taking a lot of hits. Ooh, does go down. And with that so far, SHIN does out control, does out trade. Now though he doesn't quite have enough to keep going, Solar holds. So he's holding, he's defending. You can see he's looking for Bailings. SHIN pulls away. And throughout all that aggression, SHIN was droning. SHIN was droning, he was saturating. He's only down by 1 worker. Lair's now on the way, Eva Chambers, and we're just building up into a longer game. Just some light aggression early on, some light pressure. Solar, now it's his turn to be active. Now moving out. There are some defensive banelings. SHIN is somewhat ready. And solo backs off. And solo backs off. Now we're joining, saturating. Gases are being taken. Layers are almost done. And if you recall, I did mention at the start of this game that it is difficult to get away with Mutatech on Tourmaline, but it feels like we're heading in that direction again. The layer's done. Show us the Spire. Only 5 gases. Only 5 gases. Roach speed is on the way for SHIN. He's committing into roaches. So a Solar, no Muta play. And as I mentioned, it's difficult to get away with mutas here, and both players, they agree. But never mind, we're both going for the Spire, but later this time. So big difference here. Last game, what did we see out of SHIN? SHIN skipped roach speed. This time he's getting it. So this time he's investing into roaches. This time he might only make harassing mutas and not go mass muta. Overseer gets in. He scouts. Does scout, does confirm. Solo knows. Do we get Corruptor again? Do we? It didn't seem like it worked too well last time, but is he tempted? Do we see the Corruptors? Do we go into Muta Wars? Bearing in mind that SHIN hasn't scouted. God damn it, Diva. So Sola, he knows about the Spire. SHIN does not. He doesn't have confirmation. But SHIN knows that Sola knows. True, true. Oh, that's a kill. That should not have happened. That's a kill, not a cancel. Ay, ay, ay. Heavy loss there for SHIN. Hydrogen is on the way. He canceled. Cancels the Spire. I was curious if he would. He knows he got scouted. Like, so I like the cancellation, but it's late. It was a very late decision here from SHIN. And here come the mutas. So Sola, he'll be able to gain map control with his mutas. Meanwhile, SHIN is a ways away from his banelings. Sorry, from his hydras, I meant to say. There you go. 10 hydras in production. Hydra speed as well. We just have arrived. And SHIN is stuck at home. Yeah, SHIN, he's turtling up. Can he maintain his 4th base? He already lost it once. Mutas, they move in. They bully back the roaches. And Sola's overwhelming. Yeah, he's overwhelming. Denies the expansion. Hydras are trickling in. They're being focused out one after the other. They somewhat trade. Somewhat. As SHIN, he attempts to hold his own. Yeah, pulling back, trading so far. Catching out 3 mutas for 3 hydras. Yeah, 4 safety infestors on the way. And SHIN is going for the all-in. So typically when you're stuck with Hydra tech against mutas, your goal is to turtle up and build up into a 4th base and in towards lurker tech, in towards hive tech. But there's no 4th. The 4th has been denied time and time and time again, so SHIN is being forced into a 3-base all-in with some safety infestors. The goal here, of course, to lock down the mutas. He's going to have 4 infestors, 4 fungos available. Mutas, they hit the natural, and here comes the all-in. Let's catch out with the mutas. Oh, the infestors are revealed. Sola knows. Yeah, Sola is aware. SHIN, he has to move out. He has to babysit those infestors. Better engage here for SHIN. Mutas are coming in from behind. He wants his infestors. Oh! He gets one. He tries to dive in. Fungal does land. Nice fungal on the railings. As we're down to 1 fungal left. Oof. Not really many fungals remaining here. Down to 1. Does land on the mutas. Not bad. Is there enough of a follow-up, though? As there's almost a Senka fungal. Almost. Bailey's are just now finishing up. Hydras, they do splits. They pull away. Ooh, 1 Bailey connects. Just the 1, and there's no fungal growth. Wow, the mutas overwhelm. Mutase shut down all the Hydras, they shut down the Infestors, and with that, Mutase will clean this up. But how many losses? Roaches, they bust in. Roaches, they bust into the natural. They peel off into the third base. Drones are going down. And behind this, Shin can make Hydras. He can make defensive Hydras as he bled out drones himself. Likewise, getting into the Spire. Spire will survive. Solar holds. Wow, Solar holds. He maintains a stronger economy. Maintains a 3-base setup. GG. GG gets called, and Solar takes or ties up the series 1-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Both games, Mutas have won the game. They've both game one. Game one was Shin going into mass Muta, was able to shut down the Corruptors and the Roach Hall in. Game two, it was Solar going into Mutas and shutting down the Hydra Roach Hall in out of Shin. GG. GG, well played. Again, I was concerned about any kind of Muta Inspire play here on Tourmaline, but Solar never got scouted. Solar, he never got scouted, so Shin, he was not aware of what he was up against. He was, again, forced into the all-in. He just could not take a fourth base. He was denied time and time again. GG. GG, well played. With that, we are now getting to game number 3. We'll see who takes a lead in the series. Who goes into Mutas this time? It's going to be... Es este lechito. Just a normal man. Feels bad, man. We miss him dearly. It was great to see him earlier this year in Thunderfire, for sure. We miss the normal man. So we're getting into game number 3. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the Teal Zerg player, himself. We're 12 pulling. Let's go. With the Teal Zerg, the South Korean Zerg, tying up the series 1-1, it is Solar. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, going for the 12 pool. It is Shin. Let's go. Let us go. We're tied up 1-1 here, and the question becomes, are we going for a 12 pool drone pool? Remember, there are different variations of 12 pool. 12 pool does not have to be the all-in. You can expand with it, you can play macro with it, or you can go for a 12 pool drone pool spine rush as well. Drone's moving out. Yeah, the worker is moving out, so I feel like we're gonna have to pull the boys here. No shot, we're going for like a ninja base. No shot. No? Wait, what? Okay. Jesus, for a moment there I thought it was going to expand. But he should be hiding this for a spine crawler. Drone is hidden. Now dips in. Setting up for the spine. No, goes in for the scout. We could have gone for the extract, sorry, for the trick there. Lings, they can move across the map. And Shin expands. Wow. Shin, he's expanding. Okay. This drone here had potential. We saw him set up for the hatchery. But did not offer it. Did not quite offer it. Lings, they move in. Solar's going to have to pull the boys to protect his hatchery. It's going to be up to Solar to minimize losses. To minimize drone losses. Here we go. The boys are pulled. Spine crawler's on the way. Gets one drone. Not bad. Nice control of Shin. He gets one drone so far. Spine crawler taking a lot of hits. Gets a second, gets a third. Oh, Solar's overextending. Yes, no, Solar! 6 drone kills. Oh my god. They'll take a lot of losses here. Solar losing a 7th drone. And Shin takes a worker lead. Does take that worker lead. At the same time, though, Solar's going for his own counterattack. There should be a queen back at home. Yep, there is a queen. The drone even gets away. And again, as the dust settles, Solar, he's at a worker deficit. He does have the natural, but so does Shin. And he's got the queen. He has the queen. So not a bad start here from SHIN. Now from here we macro. Now we so remember we have the initial 12 pull opener. SHIN can now drone. And the pressure is on Solar. Oh, a Solar supply blocked. Ay, ay, ay. Brutal supply block. That does slow Solar down quite heavily, actually. Getting a second Overlord. That does catch one out at least. Supply blocking SHIN. Everyone's just getting supply blocks. True, true. Oh, the supply blocks. 3 Overlords on the way. That's the first gas geyser. We should be seeing just 2-base play. Yep, we're just walling off in 2 bases. Typically 12 pulls do lead into 2-base lair. This can lead into 2-base Muta or 2-base Roach. Which one? Yet to be determined. Likewise, Solo doing the same actually. Okay. 2-base versus 2-base. The real question becomes, what do we do with the lair? What's the plan? Likewise, Solo also has a gas advantage as well. True. Has that gas income lead. Faster lair. Can lead into said faster Spire. SHIN will slip in. SHIN he will confirm the lair is already complete. Looking for the Spire. There is none, not yet. For now, Solo committing to Roach upgrades. Roach speed and +1 range. Lair is still not even halfway done for SHIN. Links are being cleaned up, and now it's go time. Do we go for the Spire? Do we not? No gas. Yeah, not the gas for it. Not yet. Solo investing into early Roaches. +1 range on the way. Trying to catch out the Queen. SHIN committing to his own Roaches. SHIN did run up a little bit further here, getting up to 4 gases. Okay, so he's on 4 gases, on 48 drones. Roaches are amassing for SHIN. Same can be said for Solar. And the longer this game goes on, the better it should be for SHIN, as he should be able to produce more Roaches, more Ravagers. We'll see. Solo does move out. He does come in. No, SHIN drones. Now's not the time. Now is not the time to drone up. Ay, ay, ay. We need Roaches. And Solo does have a lead. He does have the Roach lead. Queens will help in the defense. Will help out. Upgrade's about to finish. Also range for Solar. Does try to commit in. SHIN likewise holding on. SHIN is holding. He's trying to hold for the time being here. Again, the Queens do help. And now he's catching up. He's catching up with his upgrades. Roach speed and +1 range. We can see Solar back off. Now he starts to drone up himself. Late droning here by Solar. This is a better start for SHIN. You can see SHIN has a lead. This is due to the fact that SHIN was droning. He was droning. He had the high working count for longer. So better economy, better saturation. Now time to move out and counterattack. We've had a couple of Roaches already. Yeah, messy engage here from SHIN. Oh, getting messy. Sacrificing at the Solar. And with that Solar, he's barely holding on. Once again, he has his Queens. But his Queens has the defensive advantage. Again, SHIN, he did bleed out extra Roaches at the start of the fight. That should not have happened. And Solar drones. Solar, he drones, he saturates. Now, we do see that SHIN is a little bit less prone to drone up here. Now he's also droning. Also joining up, late workers here by SHIN. Nice contamination, okay. Contaminates +2, but doesn't start +2 himself. Interesting. Yeah, he's doubling down. So Shin, he's intentionally not droning up. Intentionally not droning. Shin commits. Getting himself the Ravagers. He gets 1, he gets 2. Ooh, he takes down all 3. Oh my god. Yeah, and Shin, he's up by 10 roaches, by the way. He has a massive roach lead. Solo was droning. Solo was saturating. Solo, he was getting ready for a longer game. And Shin, he randomly shows up here with an all-in, with a massive army. Picking up another queen. And GG gets caught. Shin overwhelms, and Shin takes a 2-1 lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Shin, he'll take a lead. Again, winding it back here. It was very close, very intense, very actually cutthroat between the two players as they were both either taking turns droning or not. Again, it was a 12 pool opener initially by Shin. He did pay for itself, or it did pay for itself. He built up into the mid game, and of course you saw here Shin chose not to drone. He cut workers early on, committed into roaches, and Solo got caught. He got caught with his pants down. GG. GG, well played. He got caught droning up, and with that, Shin is now 1 game away from claiming the series. Uno más. 1 more is all he needs. And we'll see if Shin can close it out here now. We'll see if Solar can fight back. As they're loading into Mothership. Loading in. It is going to be a 3-player small map. And do we take a risk here? Do we take a chance and do we go for a 12 pool once again? Is Shin that crazy? I mean, it does have some breathing room, for sure. Again, due to the nature of Mothership, it can take a little bit longer to actually scout and recognize what your opponent's up to. So he could Gamba. Let's go. Let's go. Spawning in the top right corner. Top right corner here, Mothership. We have the Teal Zerg player. We're joining. Here, we're all joining up here. Teal Zerg player himself down in the series. We'll see if he can fight back and force the ace match. It is a Solar. And spawning in the top left-hand corner. This time actually joining up and actually saturating. And this time there is no crazy 12 pool. We have the red Zerg player, the South Korean Zerg. It is Shin. Let's go. Let us go. So players are going to be opening up. So far droning, hatch gas pool, standard opener out of both Shin and Solar. No one does take the risk and no one takes a chance to try to gamble, going for an all-in and going for an early rush on a 3-player spawn map. We can see Solar, he will scout at the bottom side, meanwhile Shin will scout the top side. So Shin, he'll have the faster scouting. There won't be really too much to get eyes on, but we'll confirm early on at least. So players do macro up. Again, hatch gas pool. Standard openers. So far, so good. From here, we're just kind of keeping an eye open for a third base, for a third hatchery, for third base timing. Likewise for Baneliness, for Eva chambers, gas geysers. We'll see. Hello. This I was not expecting. Is Shin going for a macro hatchery? Okay. A very early macro hatchery. This does mean that the second queen is delayed. You can see here there's 1 queen on the low ground at the natural and there's no queen in the main. So lower queen count for Shin in favor of another hatchery, in favor of extra larva. Typically an extra hatchery this early on screams link flood, right? Like, why would you need so much larva this early on, this quickly? Usually would be for an all-in. So that's what we're expecting out of Shin, is for Ling heavy play. Speaking of, Solo does go for a standard third base timing. Shin is going to be walling off. Eva chambers on the way, just for a wall off for the time being. And we do see that SHIN actually never got link speed. Oh. No link speed, straight layer instead. Very fast layer here by SHIN. And this has to be for 2-base muta, correct? Another links! Yeah, links they slip in, that should not have happened. It gets a full scout, confirming lack of link speed and confirming the layer as well. Yeah, massive blunder here from SHIN. Allowing for the free scouts. And due to the scout, yep, early roaches. Now, I believe the plan was not to go into a roach hole in here, not to go for a roach push, but due to the full scouts, I mean, it's a rough position here for SHIN. He has to commit into something. Won't have that surprise factor. There's also Solar setting up. Claiming his third, droning, saturating, building up a roach ravager. We'll see if anyone deviates into Spire play. Mutas have been very trendy, very popular in the meta of ZVZ, and even in this series as well. We're seeing a lot of Muta play. As the layer is finishing. Upgrades are on the way. So far, only 4 gases here from Solar, claiming his 4th gas now. Oh, and okay, it's not going to be for the Spire. We're going into Nidus. We're going into Nidus all in instead. SHIN. Ooh, Overseer's coming in for the scout, and Solar, he will see everything. Every time. So he goes in, Solar confirms, and I believe that should force a cancel. Eyes are on SHIN. As he knows he's been scouted. Yep, there it is. There's a cancellation. Again, at this level of play, you do not expect the Nidus to get any damage done against Solar if it goes scouted. Solar getting in position for vision. Instead, second Evo chamber out of SHIN. So there's macroing. He's droning. There we go. 6 drones are on the way. Droning, macrating. More macroing. Building on up. We can see that Solar, he's getting ready to receive an army that isn't coming. Now, this can actually work against SHIN. SHIN is forcing a massive reaction, and Solar, he might soon move out with that higher army lead. Solar, he is heavily ahead in army supply. SHIN has been droning. Solar pushes soon. He might just break SHIN. There it is. 10 more riches on the way. No upgrades. No +2. Solar, he wants to commit. Catching at the Overlord, rushing across the map, gets spotted by SHIN. SHIN knows. But just because SHIN knows what's coming his way doesn't mean he can stop it. He's still down in supply, down in army. SHIN was just droning up. Getting called out, and we just go for the kill. Yeah, we just go for the kill at this point. Solar, he just steps forward. Diving on the Ravagers, diving on the main army, and there is no defense here. Again, Solar, he just committed. SHIN was caught with his pants down. GG gets called, and we're going all the way to the ace match. GG. Whew. GG, well played against Solar. He committed into his own all-in. We saw that SHIN, he was unfortunately droning. He was droning, he was saturating, building up into a longer game state. When the game did end then and there. We're going to game 5. Going to game 5. We'll see who takes the series, who qualifies for RSL. Will it be one Korean Zerg or the other? At least we will have some Zerg representation in the RSL. Whether it's SHIN or Rogue, yet to be determined. So it made it to the ace match. We have made it here to game 5. It's going to be on White Rabbit. Ooh, okay. One of the larger maps of the map pool. Larger map, longer rush distance by ground. Curious. The area towards the natural is very direct, I will say that. So that might still prompt some aggression here from our players. We'll see. We shall see. As the first qualifying match ends here. And And spawning in the top right hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the teal Zerg player. Oh, okay, we have the teal Zerg player himself. We have the South Korean Zerg forcing the ace match, bringing us all to game number 5. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the other South Korean Zerg player, the red Zerg. It is SHIN. Still on match point, still 1 game away from advancing on into the main event. But 1 game is all we have left. And honestly, both SHIN and Solar, they're both worthy. They're both worthy of being a part of GSL. They're both on that level of play. But alas, there's only room for one. Only for one. At least currently. Bearing in mind there's still the European qualifier, and it is not unheard of to have Koreans stay up and compete in the EU server qualifier as well. Difficult to pull off just because of the time zone. But the DGens, they embrace it. True. Otherwise, standard openers, hatch gas pool, nothing crazy. Building up. Which way did the Gamba go in the series? I think it went heavily in favor of SHIN, right? When it came to the Gamba. I recall seeing that at a glance. Yes, 99% in favor of SHIN. Jesus. So yeah, predictions heavily in favor of SHIN. But honestly, I mean, it can go either way. We're here in the ace match. It's a time zone to a true DGen SC2 player. True. It's all about avoiding the sun. We're looking at you, Max Pax. And Clem. God damn it. Aye. From here, link speed is on the way. We did end up pulling 1 out of gas. So nothing crazy, nothing wild. Getting into Ling Bane. Assuming we play it safe when we go into main lanes. Assuming. So now we're just still building up. Still saturating. There it is. We have the earlier bring the nest here by Solar. We should soon be seeing 1 out of SHIN as well. There it is. So building up into Ling Bane. From here, we're looking for either an Eva Chamber, a faster Roach Warren, or just a standard timing. SHIN does make an extra pair. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. 22 links in production. Oh, my God. I was about to say, like, oh, you know, he's making an extra pair of lings. Interesting, an extra wave. But no, he doubles down. We have Mass Ling on the way, going for a Bane Bust. SHIN, he's going to commit. And thankfully for Solar, he is taking this seriously. He is making extra Ling Bane. Now he sees, now he knows. Yeah, now he's fully aware. Banes are morphing in. Yeah, we have 2 Banelings back at home. Soon to be 4. And SHIN, can he detonate them ahead of time? Oh. Trying to. Breaks in. Banelings are now done. 1 Baneling goes down. Not a bad trade here for SHIN. Gets 1 so far. Gets 2. Ooh, better trade as well. 2 Banelings. One of them's going to be spent. To both of them? Oh, good. Bit of miscontrol there by SHIN. It does miscontrol with that. Looks like the hatchery will barely go down. Not bad. It takes down the 3rd. Takes down the 3rd base. SHIN does pull away. And behind this now we respond with Roach Tech. No lair, by the way. No lair. Rolling with the Roaches. Again, SHIN wasn't quite able to break through, but he did drone up behind this. He's been droning, he's been saturating. Oof. So getting out Banelings. Again, we're just calming down, we're settling in. When it comes to the drone counts, SHIN, he does have a slight lead over his opponents. When it comes to the economy, he's going to applying pressure, forcing out more Ling Bane out of Solar. But SHIN just wants to drone. Joining with saturating, we do see SHIN, he does overwhelm the links across the map. Takes down the Bailing. Can he get a Queen? Oh, he can. No shot. No defensive Bailings here for Solar. Queen gets surrounded. Clutch Transfuse. Does barely keep it alive. Just barely. From here, we're now delving into Roach production. Very late lair here out of Solar. That's a 540 lair timing. Very late. Building up into the lair. Going to be building up from here. Once the lair is done, we kind of access the Spire play, for example. But speaking of Spire, there it is. Faster lair, faster Spire out of SHIN. Oh boy. It's always difficult to play catch up. Very difficult. Oh. Speaking of playing catch up, we have Pneumatized Carapace on the way. This is typically indicative of Dropper Lords. So we're getting ready for either Dropper Lord Harass or maybe something a little bit more committed here. Okay. Este Solar. Is he setting up? Okay, I believe Solar should hit first. What's that army? And here into the bases. SHIN looking for a scout, he's looking for a Spire, bearing in mind he has one of his own. As this is going to be a Hydrogen. SHIN does scouts, is aware. Roach is a pullback to defend. Meter production has begun. And SHIN does have a pretty nice and a hefty lead here with his lair, with his meters. See what he can get done. Meters have arrived, they reveal themselves. Now Solar knows. SHIN should not try to force his way up the ramp. Gotta reforce back. And we see Solar, his goal here is a turtle. He's turtling up with Spore Crawlers, with Hydras, and now taking up in towards Lurker Tech as well. So the goal here for Solar should just be turtle up. Just turtle, defend, survive until he builds up his Lurkers and Vipers, then it can break out. It's going to be slow process here for Solar, but he can get there. We'll see if he can. On the flip side, we do see SHIN, he's maxing out Morling Bane, this time with Baneling Speed, to try to break this defensive position. There are just so many roaches though. So many roaches. Here we go, the pit is on the way. Getting into the pit. Here comes SHIN, he's maxed out. I assumed it was going to be, sorry, my apologies. I assumed it was going to be Ling Bane, but there are 28 Banelings, oh my god. We just 8 into the main. Banelings rolling in as well. There they are. Then with the main army. And can he get on top of those Lurkers? Lurkers, they morph in just in time now, bearing in mind these are lair tech Lurkers. Smash just going off, massive connections with the Banelings. Yeah, Lurkers, they connect well. And Solar defense. Yeah, Solar he defends, he does hold on. Lurkers, they zone away the ground army. Just bully SHIN back. He gets bullied out. And so far the meters have not been worth it. Yeah, every meter went down. Solar taking a further lead. Building on more Lurkers. Behind this, there's still no hive tech, so lacking upgrades so far for the Lurkers. Yeah, they just borrow. Do some damage. Bearing in mind the upgrades are to borrow, non-borrow faster. But here we go. SHIN does move in. The Vials. Oh my god. Yeah, Vials has done away the Lurkers. There's 3 Lurkers behind this. Can he break through? He's trying. Yeah, Shin is slowly working his way through here. The piles, they do force the on burrows. Ferocious, they barely making it on top of the lurkers, getting 1, 2, 3 lurker kills. Just a 2. Shin barely doesn't have enough to keep going. But he's remaxing. He's remaxing, rebuilding, getting his own pneumatized carapace, his own overlord speed. And soon it's going to be go time. And Solo, he just let out too much. Remember, the goal here for Solo was to turtle up into lurkers. He turtled up. He kind of got to lurkers, but he didn't quite get there. Like, the lurker tech is still lacking. Still lacking here. Shin is moving in. As I mentioned before, it is going to be difficult to push in towards all these lurkers. He's going for it, though. He does commit. Miles takes back the army. There's still a handful of lurkers within range, but only a handful. Yeah, down to 1, down to just the 1. Gets focused down. And Shin just snowballs out of control, breaks the main army. Just try to reposition. Yeah, Solo, he's barely holding on here, forcing back his opponents, but Shin can just back up. He just back off, rebuild, remax. Do it again. Getting ready for that next wave. I will say that with it, despite having a low worker count here, Solo, he can hold on with enough lurkers. He only has 3 though. Only 3 lurkers. That's the one thing keeping Shin at bay, is that lurker count. Let's take down one of the lurkers. Shin appealing with some units, going for the backstab, going for the counterattack. He has the spare supply to do so. I'm moving in. There are 2 lurkers within range. Nice on bird, down to 1 lurker. The others are a little bit further back. Solo holding on. Does hold on. We have numerous carriers now on the way. Getting into lurker range. And Shin's on no timer, by the way. Shin is on no timer. He's stuck on Roach Ravager. He needs to end the game soon before we hit critical mass lurkers. Just gotta keep going. Shin, he needs to commit in. Lurkers out of position. But reinforcements in favor of Solar. Shin now moving in. But after, oh gosh, capturing please out so many roaches though. That's too much. And has Solo recovered? At this stage of the game, his drone count is still quite low. But when it comes to the, oh, by the way, he's still holding on. Again, it's building up that lurker count higher and higher. He has how many lurkers so far? 7, soon to be 9 lurkers. And this time they have hive upgrades. This time they have lurker range. They have size 6 spines. And against Solo, he's defending and perfecting and just perfecting his army. Right? This is a superior composition compared to what Ragnarok has. Assuming that we have a head-on fight. Shin will sneak across. Getting into the mineral line. Solo at the same time he's had enough waiting. Now pushing in. Mineral line goes down. So let's keep pushing. Yeah, he commits in. Massive lurker shots. At the same time, we do have our backstab here. Ooh, towards the 3rd. Again, Shin is doing a lot of damage here, but back at home, can he hold? Can he survive? Yeah, with that lurkers, they move in. They get on top of the high ground. Nice whiting clouds. Shin is trying to hold on. Can he get on top of the lurkers? Oh, not quite. Yeah, Shin is trying to. The Viper's going to be zoned away. They get focused down. Once again, nice backstab here as bases are falling, mineral lines as well. But Shin, can he deal with all these lurkers? There are just so many of them. So many lunkers back. A couple of them do turn around. Soul pushing further in, going for the kill, going for the throats, headed for the main. And it's moving forward at the same time. We do see that Shin is trying to go for the counter attack, trying to go for the base trade. We have defensive workers. Oof. Oh gosh. Yeah, with that Soul, looks like he's doing it. He's defending back at home. He's killing across the map, getting on top of the hive. The hive will fall. And again, Shin, he was ahead in this game. He was looking very, very comfortable, but wasn't quite able to capitalize on that. Soul's moving in. This is the final base here for Shin. At the same time, Soul is also on 2 bases himself. This is it. Workers able to forward. We are within range. Bullying back Shin. Shin collapses in, but there are just so many lurkers. Yeah, lurkers, they pop off. They just pop off. But GG gets called, and Solar, he will qualify for this season of RSL. GG. Whew. GG, well played, congratulations. Solar, he will claim the series. Again, Solar, he was able to successfully turtle up back at home and build up into lurker tech. Once again, Shin had the advantage. He had the lead, he had momentum, but he did not press that advantage. It looked like he was playing a little bit too scared. Maybe, again, he didn't know just how much it was waiting for him and took the risk. Took the risk with the chance, took a much more passive defensive route, and in the end, Shin was punished for it. He was punished for it. GG, well played. With that, Solar does claim the series. Solar, he will qualify for this season of RSL, and the question becomes, who will join Solar? Who will join him? As we're getting ready for our next matchup, here we go. Exclamation mark, be in the chat to have a look at the back yourselves. Again, congratulations to Solar. Solar, he's made it through into the RSL. Shin, barely not. Shin, he's going to be knocked out of this qualifier. Shin will have one more chance, or technically 2 chances. 2 chances to qualify. There's the European qualifier in a couple days' time. So Shin, he might stay up, go full degen and play in the European qualifier. Otherwise, we could see the fan vote. Remember, there is a Patreon fan vote available. So patrons of the RSL will be able to vote on which player they want to join the main event, so we can also win that popularity contest as well. For now though, we have one final series here in this broadcast. It's going to be best of 5 between Classic and Percival. We're going on a short break. When we come back, we'll have a PvT between Classic and Percival to determine the final player to make it through into the main event from this qualifier. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the RSL, the Rival StarCraft League Season 5 2026 Korean Server Qualifier. We are here with the second qualifying match of the broadcast. We just wrapped up with SHIN versus Solar, went all the way to the ace match, all the way to game 5, and did go in favor of Solar just barely in that final ace match. And now we have a fresh series, a fresh best of 5 qualifying match. Let's go. Let us go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Protoss Pro. It is Classic. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the blue Terran player, the blue Terran player himself. It is Percival. Let's go. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we delve into our final series of the broadcast. Let's go. Again, SHIN, he just barely did get knocked out of the qualifier, but we still have the European qualifier in a couple of days' time. There is still another chance to redeem ourselves and to qualify for the main event, even if you have to compete in not a home server, if you will, in the opposing server with a ping disadvantage. So there's still a chance, of course, still a chance. Likewise, also voting. True, voting is also going to be a factor where the patrons will be given players to decide between, and they can also vote for their favorite player to make it into the RSL. So there are other ways, other chances, but otherwise, congratulations to Solo for making it through. Meanwhile, we're here with a TVP, and this is going to be a spicy one. Now, to catch people up who maybe haven't been watching StarCraft as of late, if you weren't here last night, what happened last night? GSL qualifiers. We were live casting the GSL qualifiers. I say live casting as close as you can get. We were waiting for matches to finish, and then bam, as soon as they finished up, we did cover the replays. That was last night during the GSL qualifier stream that was over on Soup. And if you're watching the stream, you would know Percival, he qualified for the GSL. He qualified, but how did he qualify? He 2-0'd Beyond, and he took down Solar as well. He took down Beyond and Solar to qualify. Impressive results out of Percival. Again, he has been improving, getting better and better results over the past year of play, to the point where now he's beating players like Beyond and Solar on a much more regular basis. On top of that, I would argue that Percival's strongest matchup is not TVZ, is not TVT, it's TVP. And we have seen Percival take the Classic before in these online open tournaments. Can he do it again though? Classic, the reality is he's the top 2 Protoss in the world, arguably top 1. Alongside Hero, you don't get better than Classic and Hero when it comes to Protoss in this match, or just Protoss in general in StarCraft. So he's a bit of a titan to bring down. Classic is the favorite player to make it to RSL. Can Percival cause the upset? As he's going for a proxy starport Hellion drop. Let's go. Early on, we're going for a Rax Expand economic opener into Reactored Hellion into the Hellion drop into the main base. Technically, this could be Reactored Hellion into Proxy Liberator, so we have Hellions hit the natural and Liberator hit the main, but this should be Proxy Medevac. Should be Medevac into drop into the main base. Here we go. Stalkers, they poke in. Here they poke in. They do get eyes on the initial bunker. Applying pressure. Medevac is on the way. And can the Hellions break past? Can they break past these Stalkers? Can they get across the map? Clem's PUT is pretty top-notch too. Yeah, it's not bad. It's pretty good. That doesn't change anything about what I said. Here in Classic, there's still top 2 Protoss players in the world. Clem, you could make a strong argument for his PVT to be like top 3. You can make an argument for it. For sure. As Percival does drop into the main. Classic in position, takes down the Medevac, and now it's a one-way trip. Yeah, one-way trip here. Boys are being pulled. A couple of probes do go down. 5 probe kills so far, not bad. Yeah, 5, 6. Can we get 7? Not quite. Only 6. Only 6 worker kills. I mean, I say only 6. That was 4 Hellions and a Medevac, so almost a 1-to-1 trade. Classic does hold, Classic does defend, and now it's time to gain map control and to potentially even counterattack. Ooh, I just realized here, this was a greedier build. 2K Blink into the 3rd. Okay, a couple of things here. On the one hand, worker damage was dealt, that is true, but this is a faster 3rd base. So Classic, he will have that boosted economy with that faster Nexus. It's going to be up to Percival to do more damage. Pressure is on Percival. Classic, he does gain map control. And behind this, as you see Percival sieging up. Tank on the high ground, 2 bunkers on low ground. So far, he's secure, and the starport makes it back home. He makes it back. From here, we're building up on 2 bases. Now, if you know anything about Percival's TVP, you'll know that Percival, he does favor and he does thrive in more aggressive situations here. 2 base all-ins, 2 base all-ins, 3 base all-ins. Hyper aggression is where Percival does thrive in TVP, and he has brought down players like Max Pax and Hero before as well. Not saying he's favored, but he's pulled off these upsets in the past. On a map like Winter Madness, though, we have to favor Classic, right? This map is known for macro games, is known for having a longer rush distance and having more defendable bases. So Classic should have an easier time building up on 3, 4, 5 bases. Behind this, we have a massive gateway explosion, Baze on the way for Colossus, +1, charge. Classic so far looking solid. Getting into the mid game. Likewise, Classic pokes in, gets a Marine. Getting wherever he can. Meanwhile, Colossus production has begun. True. Building up the Colossi. From the side of Percival, we're waiting to see if he throws down extra Raxes. If we see 2 more Raxes, then that would be more indicative of a 2 base all-in. But at this point, it feels like we should be pushing and expanding. We're expecting a 3rd CC. As Percival does attempt to break out. Does catch out a Stalker. Does catch a Stalker. Again, we're expecting a 3rd CC. Alright, expecting. As Percival does commit across the map. And there it is, 3rd CC behind this. Percival, he's expanding. As he moves out, would you say Classic engaging ahead of time? Getting into the first Marauder, does pick up the Widowmine, not bad. Mine goes down. Doesn't get another swipe off at the same time, drop into the natural. Classic does pull away, he's got his defensive Colossus, oh my god. Colossus does defend, diving on top of the tanks, nice force field, he gets one. One tank goes down, the other barely saved. I'll pick up there by Percival, but he gets shut down. Percival gets to back off, the push has failed, and Classic holds. Classic does hold on, blinks onto the medevac. Medevac goes down, bleeding out 2 workers, and Classic, he does defend well, does take a lead. Preserving his Colossus, preserving his economy, claiming the 4th base, and Percival has a ways to recover. He's got a ways to go. Remember, he was not all in, but he was still quite dedicated when it came to that push, and that means that this defense is going to be that much weaker. Now there's only 1 tank. It's just the one. Percival, he's now stuck at home. He's stuck at home, he's taking up. We have Viking production underway, we have Ghost Academy as well. The goal here is just turtle up and build up into the mid game. But Classic is already here, he has the advantage, he has momentum. And can he break the 3rd position? Colossus, they move in. And swipes on the Marauders. Prism drop into the natural. Pulling Percival apart. Gets into the mineral line. And so far, minimal losses. Getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 worker kills. Getting up to 6. 6 SCVs. A bit of a trade. Nothing major. What's important, though, is that, again, Percival's being contained. While that happens, bam, 5th base. 5th base with the high-yield gas geyser as well. Classic taking map control, taking more expansions, and looking to get further ahead. Get further ahead. Behind this, going for the Temple Archives. This should be for Archons, potentially Storm. We'll see. That's Classic. He takes both center expansions. Ay, ay, ay. ¿Por qué no los dos, Pat? ¿Por qué no? Oof. Yes, Percival moves out. He's also move in. Thankfully, Percival's in position. Deflects all around by. Main army is being active. There are 2 ghosts of the main army. Oh, Gotta be reinforcing. Okay. Comes in with everything. Just like last time, the goal here for Classic is to engage ahead of time, to slow this down, to force a stim, to force out some EMPs. And ideally to pick away the Viking count. How many Vikings so far? 10. 10 Vikings. Up against 4 Colossus. Gotta be careful. 3 called out. 3 damage from the Vikings, not bad. Gets a free volley off. Classic now up to 5 Colossus. Jeez, that's gonna be a lot of lasers. It's a lot of lasers. Breaking in. See, just getting some of those ghosts. Colossus, they move forward. And we're running out of cells, so he's got to be careful. Bearing in mind those charges are crucial here to buffer for the army. And we are running out. Why? Because they signed 2 Colossus, there's still 3 left. 3 remaining. And Percival takes the fight. Yeah, it does take the fight. Pulls back the army, takes down the Prism as well. No more reinforcements. No more micro. Now Percival does keep pushing. Lands EMP. EMP lands. Vikings, they still pop up. Once again, blanket EMPing the main army. And Percival, does he have enough? Can he keep going? We need more zealots. Yeah, town zealots warping in. And Classic holds. And Classic does barely hold on. Just need those zealots. Does reinforce. Chasing down the marauders. Chasing down the ghosts. And these are heavy losses here for Percival. Ay, bleeding out far too much. Bleeds out far too much. The Marines, the marauders. Forced back home. And Classic gains momentum. Again, it all came down to that massive push, that massive engage. And Percival, he failed to break the main army. And now he's exposed. He's stuck here on the low grounds. Classic's almost remaxed. Cassie, he's almost there. Classic does remax. Moving in. Blinks forward. A crazy blink. Oh my god. Gets punished for the blink. But it's fine. It doesn't matter. Classic does reinforce. Pushing forward once again. Blinking on the Medivacs. Does catch the Medivacs. Let's take down the Ghost as well. And with that, there's just nothing left. GG gets called. And Classic is snowballs out of control. Takes game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Again, Percival, he did have a decent start to the game. He was able to gain some momentum and fight for map control. What's most important, though, is that Classic, he was able to get away with mass expanding. Remember, we pointed out at the time, but Classic took the center 5th base and the center 6th expansion as well on the left-hand side, the high-yield gas bases. So, hyper greed there by Classic after, of course, gaining map control, taking those high-yield expansions. And we saw that Percival, he was not able to punish. He was able to push across the map and threaten the army for sure. But outside of that, wasn't able to achieve too much more. Wasn't able to break a base or get into the economy. Barely not. Casito, baby, casito. With that, Classic takes the lead. Does take the lead in the series, and now we're going to be loading the game number 2. Now, I should also emphasize as well, something we mentioned at the start of the game was that Winter Madness is a more macro map, right? It's known for longer, later games and more standard play as well. So we had a pretty again, a pretty tame game 1 here when it came to building up on 3 bases, getting a 4th base, and embracing the mid game. Now we're loading into some of these other maps, and we could see some more variants here from both sides, both Percival and Classic. Let's go. Or at least we should be seeing more variants. And spawning in the top right corner of White Rabbits, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss representing Virtus Pro, leading the series 1-0. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Terran player, the blue Terran player himself, the South Korean Terran. It is Percival. Let's go. Let us go. Here in Classic, lost to Björn and Clem won some tournament a couple of days ago. I mean, if you want to be that fickle, you can be. Bear that in mind, that when it comes to like gauging the skill of a player, you typically do look at the entirety of what they accomplish and the entirety of their form. I mean, the reality is that, I mean, what, Percival, he beat Clem not too long ago. Does that mean Percival's better than Clem? Like, no. But he did beat him. True. Does happen. And Percival's a good player, don't get me wrong, but it comes down to consistency. That's maybe that's a better way of phrasing it. Is it's all about the consistency of the player. And Percival, again, he can take it to Classic on a good day. On a good day and a strong day, Percival can bring it to him, and I want to believe he can do it here and now as well. But he's going to bring his best to the table. So here we go. From here, we are going to be expanding. Again, ranks expand out of Percival, forced to be off center, so a cheeky move here by Classic, forcing some inefficiencies out of our Terran player. Oh, hello. So we're going for a more economic start, but we're following this up with an earlier tech lab. So the early tech lab does scream Marauder into concussive shell. The goal here is to punish the punish from Classic. So basically, because Classic knows it's a faster CC, there's a higher chance that Classic moves out with the Adept to try to punish the CC and delay the command center. If that happens, then the Marauder should be here to punish the Adept itself. So the punish for the punish. Adept is coming. Let's go. So we'll see Percival can catch out the initial gateway units. From here, he can then follow this up with either a 3cc 3 racks or 3 racks follow-up. Those are the most common. Based on the placement, looks like a fast third command center. Yep, 3cc 3 racks hyper greed out of Percival. This build was popularized by Björn. Wouldn't say came up with this, but Björn is very fond of this build in TVP. So fast third CC hyper greed into a very strong mid game. Bearing in mind the follow-up here is going to be a second and third racks into a stim timing. We have our Marauders in position. Concussive shell is done, and again the goal is to catch the first Adept. It does get scouted. Yeah, it does get scouted. Classic pulls away. Will save the Adept. Avoids the main army. And does Classic get into the main? He shouldn't. Yeah. The scout is going to be denied. Back at home, we have a safety battery. Stalker as well. Does finally get caught out there. Jet does get caught. And from here we do have the follow-up there. Oh my god, extra gateways. No third. Yeah, lack of third base for the time being. Classic throws down 3 more gates. 4 gate blink out of Classic. Hyper aggression out of our Protoss player. Did he scatter across the map? He did not, but this will work wonders here. Why is that greed? Remember, this was a hyper greedy build here by Percival, going for a fast third CC. Delayed factory, delayed tank production, delayed bio as well because of how quickly we went for the third base. That means 4 gate blink has potential to pop off. So Classic, he can punish. He's building up his army. And we'll see if Percival can hold his own. It's going to be difficult. Not impossible, but it's going to be a tough hold. Here we go. Double bunker. Double bunker being thrown down. What is Percival scouting? What's important here, Percival, he didn't see the gateway count, but what he did see is lack of third base. He saw the lack of third. So something is wrong, something is amiss. Oh, we do cancel one of the bunkers though. Uh-oh. Yeah, Percival does cancel. So he just has the one bunker. Singular bunker on the low ground. And here come the mass stalkers. Here comes the 4 gate blink. Here comes the 4 gate blink stalkers. Classic about to warp in, and if Percival doesn't react in time, he might just be broken here and now. Here he comes. He's got the sentry as well, true. He's got the sentry. There's the warp in. Stim is done. Diving on the CC. No shot. Does he kill? Oh no, he does. No shot. The boys are being pulled. Can he repair in time? It's gonna be close. Oh my god, barely does. Barely does repair. Saves the CC. Classic rotates. Again, that's just one bunker. Nice force field. Blocks off the ramp. And the bunker goes down. Yeah, the bunker does fall. Extra sentries on the way as well. Just force field on the ramp. Remember, because of the build of choice, no sentries. Sorry, no dropships. No medevacs. Yeah, no medevacs available. We have more force fields. Plugs up the wall. And every SCV goes down. Yeah, Percival is being broken. Critical damage. 19, 21 SCV kills. Classic is snowballs out of control. Out positioning Percival. Punishing the greed. He punishes. More sentries. More force fields. They just keep coming. And even if Percival barely holds on here, and he does barely hold, that's still critical damage. 25 workers. Yes, Percival, he has a third CC, but this is just too much damage. Does fall far behind. Does fall behind. Behind this, Classic does take the expansion. It was a delayed Nexus, but still on the way. Still just not finishing. Este Classic. Going for the sentry drop. Okay. Yeah, a bit of miscontrol. One sentry goes down. Classic does pull away. And again, this is almost a build order win from Classic. I say almost because, as a reminder, Classic didn't scout, by the way. He wasn't fully aware of the greed of Percival, but it was Percival going for a third CC up against 4 Gateway. So Classic did have a big advantage coming into this to punish his opponents, and did punish. Did punish Percival. At this point, Percival is all in. Does have a comparable army size for the time being, but as time goes on, Colossus, right? Colossus are amassing. There's already 1 Colossi, soon to be 2. Percival doing what he can. Sim. Does him in. Hey, does supply block Classic. Let's go. Does supply block. Back at home and going for his own academy. Academy's on the way. Building him into Ghost production. Viking production has begun as well. Third CC's landed. That was a heavy supply block, by the way. That's 5 pylons being thrown down. Heavy supply block, but Classic is now pushing, and the goal here is to break that third expansion. What is it to defend? We have 2 medevacs, a couple of Vikings, a couple of Marines. There's just not much of an army here. And not much here, not much of position. He blinks in, dives on the army, charges as well. Colossus is a little bit far behind, but they do arrive, and with that, Percival is being broken at the same time, going for his own Dune drop. Get double jump to the main, does force a recall, picks up a Colossus, nicely done. Yeah, gets a Colossus. But the third is denied. Yeah, the third is still denied. Classic, he defends. It was a messy defense, losing a Colossus, but that's still perfectly fine. As Percival is contained. He's contained on 2 bases. Again, barely an economy. He's been treading water for quite some time. Treading water. There is a world where maybe Percival can get across the map again and find some more damage. Remember, recall's on cooldown. But Classic is pushing. He's going for the main push. He's built up to 2 Colossus. Nice EMP. But where's the follow-up? Again, the numbers just aren't there. Once again, EMP's landing. Mine shot gets baited. Better connection towards the end. But there's still just a sea of Protoss here. The Prism is going to be denied though. Okay. Prism gets shut down. No more reinforcements. Classic, he pulls away. And Percival, he's holding. We're holding on back. Yeah. It's still a very messy defense. And behind this, we have Classic getting to 2-2 upgrades. Still just 1-1 for Percival. Second starport's on the way into mass Viking production. Percival still has a lot of recovering to do. Percival's trying to keep up. Likewise, Classic just spreading out when it comes to his splash damage, going for his own Temple Archives. Into Archons, into potentially Storm. Leaning more towards Archons at least. Damage getting 5, getting 687, 7 SCVs, not bad. Not a bad run by. You could argue this was a little bit inefficient. That is maybe true here, but at the same time, Classic, he can afford to throw away some units, and this is hurting Percival that much more. Classic has more bases, more expansions, more of an economy. He can afford it. As he gets in, as he does get in, and busting into the main base. Again, Percival's out of position. He's racing back home. He's racing back home to defend. More CV kills, more critical damage. I mean, again, it's been rough here from the beginning for Percival. Trying to recover from the early game. 10 more CVs going down. Classic is moving in. He's pushing forward. The prison was sniped. Classic has to be careful. Has to be careful, taking more bases, double expanding. And Classic is maxed. He's maxed out. Now it's time to push. God, we have 4 Colossus. We have so many lasers, papi. Ay, ay, ay. Now, there's a world. There's a chance where if we can maybe land all the EMPs, if maybe we can engage, if Classic does mess up his micro. For the most part, though, he can just push forward. Oh. Prism does barely get away. Does pull back. Nice time in the Colossus. Gets one. Gets one Colossus. Oh my god. Lasers, they pop up. Here comes a massive warp in. And Classic is overwhelming. Again, it's been Percival just playing from behind for the past, what, 5+ minutes. Has been treading water. He's been holding on. He has been holding on. Now, this is the world. If Percival can maintain a 4th base, he can max out. The 4th base is now on the way. If he can saturate his 4th base, he can bounce back in this game. But Percival, he needs time. He needs Classic to back off. But Classic shouldn't back off. He shouldn't be able to. Sorgers, they blink forward. A bold blink out of Classic, but it's fine. He's been far enough ahead anyway. Just chasing Percival down. Oof. Punching the SCVs as well. 13 boys being pulled into their deaths. And with that Classic, he will extend his lead. Again, this all came down to the early game. As we mentioned previously, yeah, GG. GG. Classic takes a 2-0 lead in the series. Is 1 game away from claiming the best of 5. GG. GG, well played. Again, winding it back here, it all came down to the early game. It came down to the initial builds. What happened? Percival went for a 3rd CC. He went for a 3CC, 3 racks. He went for a very greedy build from the start of the game. And Classic went for 4 gate blink. With that, Classic was able to punish, was able to cripple, and was able to get a massive lead early on and maintain that lead. The game continued, that is true, but at no point was Classic in any real danger. Like, Classic was perfectly safe at home. He was freely expanding, getting a 4th, 5th, 6th base as well. I'm sure Percival, he was quote-unquote surviving, and he was holding on to his 3 bases, but again, he could never really be active on the map. He could never really thrive, could never really threaten the main army of Classic without Classic making mistakes. GG. GG, well played. With that, Classic does take a 2-0 lead, and we'll see if he can close it out here now. We'll see if Percival can bounce back and recover in game 3. Let's go. Let us go. Alright, getting ready. think Percival's chance is not that bad. I mean, as we explained, if maybe you missed out on the start of the game, like it was just a really shaky opener out of Percival when it came to the builds of choice. As we mentioned at the time, it was like almost a build order win for Classic. Technically, there are ways to defend. If you remember, there were some key moments for Percival, which also made for a difficult defense, which is when he canceled. Remember, he canceled that second bunker, so he only had one bunker on the low ground. It got two-shot immediately. There were no boys being pulled, so it was very rough. Likewise, he was out of position. Remember the force fields. Remember when Classic went in with the 4-gate blink, he just force fielded that ramp perpetually, and Percival couldn't defend his natural. Could not defend. He was out of position, and it all fell apart. Did all fall apart, but here we go. We're loading into game number 3. We're loading into game 3 here. We're on match point and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the Old Republic. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss representing Team Virtus Pro. It is Classic. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Blue Terran player. The Blue Terran player himself. It is Percival. Let's go. Let us go. That upgrade advantage though. I mean, there were a couple of things. Remember, there were the upgrades, the economy, the army. It was just, again, just a shaky start when it came to the initial openers. It was a big risk that Percival took when it came to going for a third TC. We're going 3 CC3 racks. Big risk, big gamble. Didn't pay off. Now we're settling into the Old Republic. Why am I getting timed out? Oh, don't be a clown in the chat, Pat. True, true. Watch yourself. As for now, we are going to be opening up. Once again, we do have an economic opener out of Percival, going for a single gas. Single gas racks expand out of our Terran player. Meanwhile, Classic going for his own standard opener as well. Gate expand. Nothing crazy, nothing wild. There's no proxy, no shenanigans. We can see Classic is going to be delaying the CC, at least trying to. Does force some inefficiencies out of Percival, as it did force out a second SCV. Likewise, Percival is being as greedy as he can, going for a Rax expand and skipping the SCV scout and also skipping the Reaper scout. No Reaper, no SCV, no vision across the map. Classic could be going for, say, something crazy like a Robo opener or a Stargate opener, and Percival would be unaware. This is a calculated risk. I should also mention that what I mentioned when it comes to the build of choice for Classic, it's quite rare. It's quite rare to go for, say, a Stargate or a Robo. Depending on the player, of course. I would say that someone like Hero, he's very fond of mixing in Stargate play. Very fond of it. We have Creator, for example, who's very fond of mixing in Robo play as well. It's a little bit more stylistic depending on the player. Classic does open Twilight Council. Standard. So Twilight Council opener, we'll see how many gateways he throws down. Last game was 4-gate blink. This time we'll see if he goes into 2, 3, or 4 gateways. We'll see how greedy, we'll see how economic he plans on being. Playing against us must be the most unpleasant experience in SC2. I mean, in that last game, it was just a brutal start there for Percival just because of the builds of choice, but it can be really difficult if you do lose momentum and if you take a deficit early on in TVP. It goes both ways. We see that when it comes to early economic damage, whether it's the Terran player taking it or the Protoss, the game can last like another 5, 6, 7 minutes and you're just dying like for that period of time. You're just and that is very unpleasant, where you're in a game, but you're at a deficit. Your opponent can't necessarily kill you, but you're not really living anyway. It's a rough position to be in, for sure. You're kind of like stuck in a game where you're hoping that your opponent makes mistakes. Which does happen from time to time, right? Like, there are ways to recover and there are ways to bounce back. But it is difficult to achieve. For now, though, we are opening up with our initial mine drop. This will be the first bit of scouting that Percival will achieve across the map. Remember, there was no SV scout, no Reaper scouts. Coming in with a mine drop. Now, what I find most interesting is we're going for the all-in. Okay, we're going to be rallying across tank and Viking support as well. Hyper aggression out of Percival. Woodwind drop comes in. And so far, minimal losses. Gets one probe. Gets two. Two probes go down. One Woodwind is going to be sniped. But it's all about the follow-up. Again, the Woodwind is merely a distraction. Here comes the main push. The Vikings, the tanks, the Marines, we're rallying across the map. We have a second Viking on the way. Bearing in mind these Vikings can land, and landed Vikings do decent damage against Stalkers. That's what they're here for, to just get the maximum amount of DPS out of all the production we have. No medevacs, and the Vikings, tanks, and Marines. So very dedicated here from Percival. If this fails to do damage, if Percival loses this army, that can be game then and there. It's just very dedicated. Classic does engage. Does spot the army, he knows. I mean, the Observer spotted the army, I should emphasize. Tank will siege up. Does go for the tank. Oh my god. I'll pick up. Nice control. It does bait some of those shots. Stalker's being zoned away, but there's a battery behind this. Tank does siege, and the tank is going to be targeted down as well. Gets one shot off, one volley. And Percival, he will lose everything here. Yeah, Percival is down to, what, 7 Marines. Oh, nice target firing, though. The battery's out of NG. Yeah, the battery's out. Oh, no! Oh, my God. That was so close. Gets into the main, unloads, going for the mineral line. But it's going to be a one-way trip. It's going to be one way. Picks off one more Stalker. Second Stalker goes down. Okay. A little bit of extra damage. There's a bit of a trade here. 3 probe kills. Yeah, messy defense here from Classic. Was messy. Percival pulls away, and where exactly are we? We did mention how this was very dedicated from Percival. What it was very, very dedicated. Was able to trade with his opponents. Tanks do siege. Can he catch out the Stalkers? He can. Gets one. Picks off one Stalker. Nice catch out of Percival. Behind this, going for a third CC. Building up his economy. And taking up into Stim. So third CC is on the way. Stim, +1, combat shields. Building up into the mid game. Behind this, Classic, he has no pushing power. He's now getting his 4-gate setup. But he can mainly just harass. And now we can settle into our game. We can settle into the mid game here. Percival for... I mean, again, last game was just brutal when it came to the setup into the mid game. But Percival, he can freely expand. You can freely set up. Zones away the prism. So far, a solid start for Percival. He's building up on 3 bases. Likewise from here, Classic will soon have his tech of choice, whether it's Storm or Colossus. For now, just committing to a gateway heavy composition. Percival, he's being active. Does leave all his tanks back at home. Just being active with the double drop. Acid does engage, gets a medevac. Ooh, gets one. And massive pickup. Takes out a medevac. He wants a marauder as well. He blinks in. And Percival gets away. And Percival does pull out, does pull away. Preserves his army, more importantly. And we'll see how we do build up from here. Classic claiming his 4th base. Map control is still a little bit uneasy here for Classic. I will say that. Percival is still being active. Show up on the left. The drops they spot each other.
Upgrade complete.
Percival does react in time. And the main army right through the center, also spotted by the Observer. True. Classic is ready. He's ready in the center. Catching out 1, 2 Widowmines, not bad. Denying any kind of splash damage. And Percival, he begins a 4th CC. Okay, we're getting into the mid game. We're building up. We're macroing. For the first time this series, we have, a back and forth mid game, and we're settling into a longer game state, into 4 bases. And again, Percival so far, he does have a pretty solid start. Has lost minimal units, traded well. And we'll see if he can punish some of these bases. Sims in. Dusts it forward, dragging the army within Widow Mines. Ooh, nice shot. Nice shot goes off. One more mine behind this. Back at home, Percival does defend. Cleans up the Zealots. Trading well against the Stalkers. Oh my god. Yeah, decent trades. From here, Percival pulls away. Drop into the natural. 7 probes going down. And Percival cripples the economy. Takes a better trade. Now he can reinforce with his main army. And Classic has to get the hell out of here. Still bleeding out even more workers. 9 probes going down. And Percival takes a lead. Again, for the first time this series, like he's ahead. He's up in workers, up in economy, up in bases, up in army as well. And Classic is in trouble. Back at home now, switching into double Colossus production. From here, he might switch into disruptors as well. Eyes are on Classic. He needs more time. He needs those Colossus. Alright, dealt with. Nice catch. Another Colossus. He gets 1. Yeah, massive pickoff. Gets 1. Classic go with this man's down. Second Colossus does survive. Does hold. Get some decent force fields. Catching on some bio. Catching on some of the Marines. Classic to take a slightly better fight here. Catching on Marines, Marauders, building up towards the Colossus. Colossi are coming. But we still do favor Percival here. He's perfecting his army. Now incorporating more Ghosts, now Vikings as well. At this point we could do with a second starport. Especially with the 4th base getting saturated. So we're still building up. 5th CC's on the way. Drop on the right hand side. Dust spot some of the bases. Once again, Percival's gonna be careful. Lands an EMP. Lands 2. Grazing on with the EMPs. He will lose some of the ghosts though. That's gonna be 1, 2, 3 ghosts going down. Some heavy losses here for Percival. Ay, ay, ay. Some heavy losses at the same time. Marines that didn't move in, but Classic has a warp in. Defense back at home. Ooh, and Percival bleeding out too much. Yeah, he's getting pulled apart here. Yeah, losing Marines, losing drops. Remember, this all began with him losing 3 ghosts as well. Some heavy losses for Percival. And Classic takes the lead. And Classic is recovering. Just better fights for the Protoss. Percival, he has to lick his wounds. Behind this, going for the fusion core. That should be for Liberator range. So again, Ghost Viking into Liberators. That is the go-to. But again, Classic is built up. He's built back up. He's on 80 workers. He's saturating his bases. High yield gas as well. Again, it was able to catch Percival out when it came to his drops. Even here, sniping a medevac. And Percival is in trouble. Now, the dynamic will shift once we get into Liberators. We do have advanced ballistics on the way, and we are making 2 Liberators at a time. But Percival, he isn't there yet. Not quite. Percival, he still needs more time. He needs all that freedom back. He needs the freedom. Catching out a couple of Stalkers. 1, 2 Stalkers going down. Nice big out of Percival. Liberators are soon to arrive. Ooh, catching out the Prism. Oh my god. And Prism goes down. Ooh, but the charge lets they punish. They punish the dive. Nice mine shots. Yeah, Widow Mines do connect. Vikings, they collapse in. They're getting 1, 2. There's 2 Colossus left. And Percival holds. Yeah, Percival does hold on. Classic overextends. And Liberation has arrived. He's got his Liberators. They're going to build up over time, making 3 Liberators at a time here. Building up more libs. Classic is still mass expanding. I mean, the base count is nice and all, but we need to saturate. He needs saturation. Just now saturating on the left. Personally does claim his own 5th. 5th base is up. And this will come down to the next big fight. Personally does find one expansion. Classic is moving in. There's a lot of ghosts that are harassing across the map. Toss in some EPs. But the army isn't here. Yeah, there's just not enough here, not enough in position. Does snipe one of the Colossus. But where's the rest of the Bio army? Yeah, again, it is not here. Classic rotates, takes down the planetary. Massive pickup. Fighting within liberator range though. Oh my god. Taking a lot of damage. But he overwhelms. Yeah, Classic does overwhelm this army. 27 SCV kills. They'll say pop off in the mineral line. And Percival's being pulled apart at the same time, going for his own counterattack. We're trading bases. We're trading bases. As more boys are being pulled. Again, still critical damage. More warpins getting into the main. And can we base trade with this? We only have, what, 2 full medevacs? Barely an army. Yeah, there's just not much here. There's not much here. Gets an Nexus. Zealous still popping off. Your shout to the Cloak Ghost. No detection. The one ghost, Batty. He's popping off. He's doing, oh no, the other ghost. As Percival sims in, takes down another expansion. There's the Mass Cloak. Percival, he's holding. He's holding back at home. Cleans up the Zealots. So was that recall? Did recall bottom right. We're getting messy. Getting very messy here. As Medevacs are being targeted down. And where exactly are we? Okay, so Classic, he's knocked down to what we have 3, 4, 5 bases. 5 bases up and running on 66 workers. That is what 3 base saturation. Not much of an economy here for Classic. At the same time though, Percival also lost so many SCVs down to 42 workers. Mules are helping. Mules, they do help support. They do help supplement his losses. 5th CC's on the way. Economically quite neck and neck. Armies are split. MP lands. We have more ghosts coming in. Classic gets respected. He does pull away at the same time. Zelarambe here across the map gets into the mineral line, getting more CV kills. And Percival turns around. Does turn around. This does give Classic more time. Now pushing across. Keeping Percival busy. Percival just wants to push. That base. Nice EP. Very nice. EP goes up. Vikings as well. Gets 1, gets 2 Colossus. But the Zealots, though. The charge also getting some of the Ghosts. Yeah, Ghosts are going down. Do we have detection, though? No Observer. No Observer, no detection. Every Colossus is being chased down. 1 Colossus left. No more splash damage. And Percival, he's done it. He has broken Classic. Takes down a little splash damage. Barely anything left. Economy goes down as well. Takes down the mineral line. And we're making a series out of this pack. True. Almost there. Oh, Aziz also getting out of hands. 15 SCV kills, by the way. Ay, ay, ay. 15 SCVs go down to 31. But it may not matter. It may not matter. Percival pushing in. I see him killing the Zealots. And just out trading Classic. Knocking down another expansion. This time they're going for Adapter Ass, okay. I mean, hey, we'll stay out of range of the planetary. But Percival is going for the kill, going for the throw, depowers the Robos. No more Colossus. And ICMPs. GG gets called. GG gets called. Percival snowballs out of control. And we have a back and forth. We have a series. Percival, he will force game number 4. GG. Whew, GG, well played. A very chaotic game here, very chaotic, very back and forth. Winding it back, Percival, he had the better start. Remember, he was able to maintain map control, take better fights, take better trades, able to take a lead economically, able to just engage with the army and have some better fights overall over Classic. Eventually, though, Classic recovered. It was impressive. Classic, he was able to catch out some of the medevacs, catch out some of the army, build up his own 4 and 5 bases, and have that kind of back and forth. It was very close, very intense. We saw that Percival, he was able to almost perfect his army, but build up into that more liberated heavy composition, end up with a much more efficient composition instead, and we ended up in a weird base trade. A weird base trade where Classic recognized he could not fight the army head on, bypassed the army, got across the map, and so did Percival, and things got chaotic. Things got crazy, baby. GG. GG, well played, well played. Things got very chaotic. In the end, we do have Percival fighting back, and we're going all to the game number 4. Loading into 10,000 feet. Let's go. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss representing Virtus Pro. Still leading the series, so one game from claiming the series. We'll see if we can close it out here and now. It is Classic. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran fighting back, putting a point on the board. Can he force the ace match? It is Percival. Let's go. Let's go. Catching up. At this point, it will be worth not mining early expansions and mining bases closer to Percival first. Yeah, that's very common when it comes to late game setups. Often you want to be mining bases that are closer to your opponent because there's a very high chance that they're going to be knocked down and taken over by your opponent eventually over time. That's very common. We often do see players like Classic incorporate that. His team. Did Classic throw this? I would say this was a back and forth, and if you want to say that, you can say that did Percival throw that? Remember that Percival, he did have a lead early on. I say early on, for the first half of the game, for the first half of that previous game. Percival, he was in control of that game. He had momentum. He was popping off. Then he lost that lead, and then we had that back and forth. It was very chaotic. We got messy, papi. We got messy. But here we go. There we go. From here, we're calming down. We're loading into 10,000 feet. 10,000 feet is a much smaller map. Smaller map in the map pool. Shorter rush distance by ground. On a map like this, aggression is going to be more favored here. It takes very little time to get across the map. So one wrong fight, one wrong move, and you can see your opponents in your bases in your face immediately. So it's a very unforgiving map, I should say. Very unforgiving. The advantage, though, when it comes to 10,000 feet is the distance between bases. The natural, the third, and the fourth. I mean, you can see them here. They're all on the same screen. They're all here, all on the same screen. So expanding and maintaining your 4 bases is relatively easy, as your rotations are quite minimal between your 4-base setup. So on the one hand, yes, the map is small, and yes, you can punish after a lost fight quite quickly on this map. That is true. On the other side, though, turtling up on 4 bases and building up into the late game is a lot more common on this map as well. A lot more common. So we have that kind of back and forth. The idea of Percival turtling up and building up to 4 bases and perfecting his army into liberators, there's a higher chance of him achieving that here on 10,000 feet. But we'll see how aggressive our players plan on being. That's good. We'll get there. For now, we do have our 1-1-1 setup back at home. Racks expand into factory starport. Classy does poke in. Do have the safety bunker. And behind this, we do see Percival setting up for a drop. This time, no Widowmine drop. This time, he is making additional Hellions. Okay, interesting here. Going for a bit of an unorthodox build, going for a bit of a delayed Hellion drop. I say delayed, bearing in mind that earlier this series, we did see the attempted proxy starport into Hellion drop into the main. Here, it's back at home instead. Still going for the drop, but in a different way. So the way this works here is that 3 Hellions one-shot probes. 3 Hellions, that's enough to one-shot. And if workers line up, then these Hellions, they can pop up. They can do critical damage. Oh no. Classic is in position. He scouts. Oh no. He does spot the drop. Is aware. Does spot the medevac. And Classic getting ready back at home. Classic himself did go 2-gate blink. Okay, greedy build. Greedy build, 2-gate blink into a robo into a third base. Third gate which is now finishing up. Medevac is intercepted. Ooh, taking a lot of hits. Taking a lot. Oh no! The medevac! Oh my god. Full medevac goes down. Ay, ay, ay. Rough start. Rough start for Percival. The Hellion drop does nothing. Yeah, 0 damage is dealt. Hellion goes down. Not a single probe kill. And Percival, he does lose any kind of momentum here. He's forced back home. So shaky start for Percival. 0 damage dealt. Ay, ay, ay. Again, so unfortunate here that he got scattered ahead of time. I mean, Percival took a risk. If you saw, originally he was going to be skirting around the left-hand side. He chose to deviate and go to the right-hand side instead. To go to the right-hand side of the map. Got spotted by the Adept. Classic, he has blink. He can blink into the main. I'm sure he's tempted. There is that one Raven. Stalkers, they flirt with the idea, but in the end, Classy does back off. Behind this, going for a gateway explosion, we have charge, +1, and the Bay on the way, getting ready for Colossus. So Classic is taking up. Again, Classy just enjoying his map control. There are some Marines out on the map. They can maybe just walk into the mineral line. Potentially, but now just holding on. Holding on to the Marines. Classic delays the 3rd CC. Marines do walk in. Stim is not yet done, but does make his way into the mineral line. There's a recall. Yeah, quick reactions out of Classic. Recalls back home. Oh, Colossus pops out, and the Marines are going to be completely cleaned up here. Oh, once again, this wasn't quite worth it here for Percival. Percival bleeding out 3 Hellions, the medevac, 8 Marines for only 3 probes, and those are 3 probe kills to the auto turret. To the Raven. Oh, speaking of the Raven, goes down as well. Oh god. It's been shaky here. It's been very shaky here for Percival. He's building up back at home, getting into his 3rd. Due to all the aggression being shut down here when it comes to the Marines, the Hellions, and now the Raven as well, Classic can freely expand. He can freely just maintain his bases, get his 4th up and running, saturate his bases as well, and build up that greater economy. And now at this point we have to make a choice here. Percival, does he claim his 3rd, build up and go for a big 3-base push, or does he take a slower approach? Right? Does he turtle up instead and look to claim a 4th base and try to build up into Liberators? What's the plan? How do we approach this? So we have the Ghost Academy on the way. Again, working towards Ghosts. Then into Vikings. Percival's getting there. Meanwhile, Classic just shocking around, maintaining map control, claiming his 4th, now claiming a 5th base. Just mass expanding. Extending his lead. Just flexing the fact that Classic has nothing to worry about. He shut down all the aggression. He's safe. Classic is safe. Into the natural. Doesn't get much done. Percival does react in time. Does force a recall. Prism does not make it back home. A nice catch. Finally something going Percival's way. Catching at the Prism. Recall now on cooldown. Second Robo is on the way for Classic, going to double Colossus production, and Classic turns back around. He does race back home. Doesn't want to risk getting caught out. And again, from here, we're still just macroing up. Getting a 4th CC. I think he just retired for fun. Yeah. We spoke about it previously, but when he came back from retirement initially, he did not intend to take it seriously. Obviously, that changed, but initially, Percival, when he came back last year, it was just to play for fun, just to stream, just to get back into StarCraft, and then he just locked in. Speaking of the first tank gets caught. Yeah, tank gets caught out. Percival delaying the 4th base. Going for Classic, going for a massive warp in. I meant to say Classic. You know, with 4 Colossus. And it's going to be a tough hold. Yeah, it's going to be a very tough hold here. Blinks in, does focus on the Vikings. There's 4 Vikings left. Should say 5. 5 Vikings remaining. Liberators are on the way. Classic once again moving in. Okay, he's over the Ghost. Nice EMP. EMP goes off. Classic running out of Zealots. There's not that much bio. And even though Classic isn't pushing into the bases and pushing into the army, he's denying the expansion. Denying the 4th base. Keeping Percival contained. Taking away the Widow Mines. Taking away the mines. Getting 4 more CV kills. And this is all that Classic needs to do. He does not have to push in, just maintain this position. Deny the 4th. Deny the 4th base, pick up some free SCVs. Contain Percival. We have 7 more gates on the way, jeez. It's a lot of gateways. Getting him to 20. Oh, the Ghost! The Ghost is harder down. That's what 4 Ghosts falling. Finally, 1 Colossus gets picked off. Miscontrol out of Classic. Did lift the wrong Colossus. A bit of miscontrol, but the Warpins, they continue. Down to 4 Vikings, down to 3. 3 Vikings left. The Hobby got micro. And Percival is being bullied. Does rally in with more Vikings. Just barely. The juggling, they just won't die. The Colossus. They're crazy micro there by Classic. Finally, 1 Colossus goes down. The rest are so low. As Percival, he just can't expand. He wants to. Cannot expand. As he bleeds out more Vikings, down to 1 Viking left. Soon to be down to 0. And blinks on in, takes down the final Vikings. And with that, Classic has done a GG. Classic, he will claim the series 3-1, qualifying for this season of RSL. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Classic. He will claim the series. We did have a bit of a back and forth here, of course. Coming back into 10,000 feet at Classic, he was able to have such a strong early game, of course. Winding it back, remember, he caught out the Hellion drop, he caught out the Raven, he caught out the Marine run by as well. All the early game aggression just fell on its face, and as a result of that, Percival, he had to relinquish map control. He relinquished map control, he was stuck back at home on 3 bases, and so as a result, Classic could afford to get a 4th and a 5th base up and running, uncontested, just freely build up his economy and max out from there. Percival, he was trying to turtle up back at home, and we did emphasize that, hey, on this map, the bases are close together, it's a little bit easier to get your 4th up and running. But remember, Percival, he had the economic deficit, he lost map control early on. Classic had a big lead coming into the mid game where he could apply pressure and contain his opponents on 3 bases. Percival couldn't expand, couldn't get a 4th base, couldn't quite build up. GG. GG, well played. And again, really patient play out of Classic as well. We emphasize that Classic had to be very safe there. He didn't have to push in, didn't have to push into the 3rd, just wait at the 4th base, out-trade his opponent, build up his army, and eventually just whittle away at Percival. GG. So GG, well played with that. Congratulations. With that, we have our final qualified players for the Revival StarCraft League Season 5 main event. Let's go. From the top, Classic. Classic took down Perceive. 2-0 took down Percival. 3-1. Classic qualifies for the RSL. Meanwhile, scrolling down a little bit further here, we had Solar. Solar took down Rex. Solar took down Shin. Solar also qualifies for this season of the Revival StarCraft League. So congratulations to Classic and Solar for making it through. Bearing in mind they're going to be joining Nightmare and Shameless, who also made it through the Americas qualifier. And there is one qualifier left, the European qualifier. The European server qualifier is remaining. That is going to be in a couple days time. Here. And this also means that if you're a fan of Shin, if you're a fan of Percival, if you're a fan of some of these other players, then do not worry, because they will have a chance to redeem themselves in the European qualifier. Obviously they have the disadvantage of playing on the European server, so there is that disadvantage, but we have seen Koreans pop off on the Korean server, on the European server regardless as well, regardless of ping. We'll see if they can. We'll see if they can. So best of luck to the remaining players. Also, do not fret. If you're a fan of these players and if they don't make it through the European qualifier either, remember there is still a fan vote. You have to be a part of the Patreon, of course, but the patrons of RSL, they will have a voting phase after the qualifiers where they can vote on their favorite player to be a part of RSL. Obviously it's limited. It's limited to players that are, keen and interested in competing in the event, of course, but there is going to be that voting phase available. So it will be available. That'll be after the qualifiers conclude, of course. Otherwise, GG. Otherwise, GG, well played. With that, I am giga fatigued. I do apologize. I did get my second wind during the Classic Percival series, but I don't know if you noticed, but I was very low energy for like game 4 and game 5 of Solar versus Shin. I was very low energy. I was like nodding off. I was like, giga tired. He barely got any sleep. Of course, we were live earlier this morning casting Pegasus Cup, and then now this evening casting RSL. So back-to-back broadcasts here. No time to sleep, no time to breathe. So just a little bit fatigued, and I do apologize for being low energy for that previous ZVZ. Otherwise, if you want to check out the rest of our schedule, bam, you can see it here before you. So when it comes to our schedule, we just wrapped up with the Wednesday evening broadcast of RSL, and as a reminder, we are going to be live tomorrow morning with the GSL Code A qualifiers, or the GSL qualifiers, just period. For those that maybe aren't aware, we were live last night with the GSL qualifiers. We were the only English stream, by the way, the only English stream. We covered the GSL qualifiers, but we were not live here on Twitch. We were live over on Soup. We're live on Soup. Soup, for those who are unaware, is the rebranding of Afrika. Afrika TV, they are like the Korean equivalent of Twitch, essentially. They're one of the many Korean streaming platforms, and they have of course exclusivity when it comes to the GSL broadcast. So we did not have permission to stream on Twitch. No permission to stream on Twitch or YouTube, so we could only stream on Soup. But the rebroadcast and the VODs, those are going to be available on YouTube and Twitch tomorrow. Tomorrow they're going to be available. So again, if you can't wait, if you want to watch the VOD, you can do so via Soup. Otherwise, we'll have those VODs available. Just catching up. Catching up with the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me play with your kitty for subscribing for 24 months. 2 years of support, Pappy. Ay, ay, ay. 2 years, Pappy. Crazy, crazy. Thank you so much, Pappy. Thank you so much. Clearly, it's pay to vote. It is. Unironically. You got to pay to vote. True, true. So check out the Patreon, exclamation mark RSL. I believe we do have the command in the chat, exclamation mark RSL, to get a link to the RSL Patreon. So if you want to take part in the voting phase for the maps and for the players as well, you can do so via the Patreon. True. Just catching up. Okay. Classic, well, yeah, playing solid. Solid. But otherwise, we are going to be wrapping up. And again, we're going to have the rebroadcast of the GSO qualifiers. That's going to be in around 12 hours time. Otherwise, we have the podcast tomorrow evening. The podcast is our weekly podcast, our weekly talk show of all things StarCraft. We have the TLMC finalist broadcast on Friday. We have StarCraft Evolution League. We have Universe Titan Cup show match and the Tuna Cup as well. Plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft. We have at least one broadcast every single day, often multiple broadcasts a day as well. We cast more StarCraft than anyone else out there, more than than wordy, more than steadfast. We have the quantity and we have a little bit of the quality as well. True. Otherwise, gonna go get some food, gonna go get some rest. It's been a long day, papi. It's been a long day. Aye. But thank you so much. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to support us, you can do so via Patreon as well. ! Patreon in the chat. Our Patreon does fund our tournaments on a regular basis. Otherwise, YouTube. Check us out on YouTube, but we do upload on YouTube on a daily basis as well. So if you see something that you like here, if you see like GSL CK or the GSL qualifiers or the RSL qualifiers or Homestray Cup, Rongi Cup, Thunderfire Cup, Tuna Cup, Wardy TV Mondays, Pegasus Cups, StarCraft Evolution League, Euthermal Suitu Circuits, all the tournaments we cast, they're available over on YouTube. The VODs are there. Otherwise, we'll see you guys tomorrow. See you guys next time. Stick around to give one of the other StarCraft streamers a raid. Give him some support. Give him some love. I do see that Sort of is streaming. Sort of. He actually played in this qualifier. He played in the qualifier. So may as well give old mate Sort of some love. Likewise, I see Deadly Kitten as well. Swedish player living in Japan. Who else? We have Nodicon. Oh, we have a couple of Japanese players actually. Okay. Let's go. Couple of Japanese players, but we're gonna be wrapping up. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll see you guys next time. Until then, ciao, papi, ciao. Ay. Get some rest, papi. Get some rest. See you next time. Hasta luego.